Welcome back to the MLB Urban Youth Academy here in the city of Compton. Your Barons are back home on this wonderful Wednesday evening to take on the Riptide from Orange County. Hello everyone, my name is Noah Alvarez. It's been a minute since the last broadcast here at the Academy. Last time we were here, the Barons beat the Ventura County Pirates by a score of 6-5 back on June 27th. Since then, the Barons have gone 2-5, but are coming off a big road victory yesterday over the Arroyo Seco Saints. This will be game number 2 of 5 games this week, and the first of 2 home games, the other being this Saturday as the Barons will host the San Diego Sunrays. So if you can't make it out tonight to the ballpark, you always can make it out on Saturday. Remember, folks, we only have 5 more games on the season here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy, counting today. So only 5 more opportunities for you to come check out the Academy Barons this summer. Again, it's game number 24 of 36 for the Barons summer season, the Orange County Riptide and the Academy Barons. Let's go ahead and introduce you to both teams as we await the umpires and the head coaches who will soon meet at home plate. Again, my name is Noah Alvarez, and in the third base dugout to your left is the Academy Barons. The Barons are now 9-14 this summer and are currently in 5th place in the CCL South Division. The Barons are 7-8 here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy and have 5 remaining home games the rest of the way. The club is led by manager Kenny Landro, who is a native of Compton himself, went to Dominguez High School down the road, and is a former MLB player, winning a World Series championship with the Los Angeles Dodgers back in 1981. The Barons opened up their 2024 season with the Sunrays on June 6 and came out victorious by a score of 2-0. That was their first game of the season. Last game of the season, or their most recent game, was last night, again on the road in Pasadena, as they defeated the Arroyo Seco Saints by a score of 6-5. They needed extra innings to win that game, as they put up 1 run in the top of the 10th and held the Saints scoreless in the bottom of the 10th to win that game, again by a score of 6-5. Their pitching has been solid of late, allowing an average of 4 runs a game in their last 6. However, they haven't been able to get the bats going, as they're averaging only 2 runs during that same time span, and they have a record of 2-4 in their last 6 games. Over in the first base dugout, it's the Riptide from Orange County. They entered tonight with a record of 13-8 on the season and are coming off a 3-2 win last night over the San Luis Obispo Blues. They've owned the Barons on the season series, winning both games and outscoring the Barons 21-11 in the 2 games that they faced each other. They faced off this past Saturday over in Orange County. And then if you remember, it was quite some time ago, the Barons did host the Riptide. Here at the Academy back on Thursday, June 20th. Again, they lost that first game by a score of 16-9, and then on the road, playing at Orange County Great Park in the city of Irvine this past Saturday, they fell by a score of 5-2. Again, the pitching has been better for the Barons. The defense has been better as well. The bats have gone a little cold. We're now in the month of July. Only 3 more weeks left of the summer season here in the California Collegiate League, and as I told you earlier today, only 5 more games remaining here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy, counting today. So if you couldn't make it out today, there's only 4 more opportunities for you to come check out the Barons here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy, right here on the campus of Compton College, on the corner of Santa Fe and Artesia Boulevard. Again, right off the 91, so if you are a Southern California native, not too hard of a place to get to. Again, my name is Noah Alvarez. Academy Barons taking on the Orange County Riptide tonight. Let's go ahead and show you the standings as of right now here in the California Collegiate League South Division. Leading things in the top of the South is the Santa Barbara Foresters. They have a record of 16-7. The Barons fell short to the Foresters on the road this past Sunday by a score of 5-0. It was a tremendous effort by the starting pitcher, Maximus Berber. However, he wasn't able to get any run support. Did give up 1 run in 7 innings of work. That was Maximus Berber, but the Barons fell short to the Santa Barbara Foresters, who are in first place and are currently on a 4-game winning streak. Right behind them, a game and a half back, is the Conejo Oaks. They're 14-8. The Orange County Riptide are 13-8, sitting in third place, a half game behind the Oaks. And a game and a half behind the Orange County Riptide is the Arroyo Seco Saints, who the Barons defeated yesterday. In fifth place, it's the Academy Barons, again at 9-14. They're currently 4.5 games back of the Saints, so they have quite a bit of work to do if they hope to jump into that fourth place spot. Again, beating the Saints yesterday definitely helps the cause, as they are playing the team that's right in front of them in the standings, and they won yesterday. Right behind the Barons in sixth place is Ventura County Pirates. The Pirates went on a trip to Alaska because they are an affiliate league team. They do have that freedom to play a lot of non-league games, and they definitely took that opportunity to do so, playing in the Alaskan, or playing some teams from the Alaskan Baseball League in the past week. And then sitting in last place, in seventh, is the San Diego Sunrays. The Sunrays have both 4 wins, just like the Ventura County Pirates do. However, they have 15 losses, so 7 more losses than the Pirates, and they're currently 4.5 games behind the Pirates. Again, that's your standings for the California Collegiate League South, as we go over the standings here on the YouTube channel. Again, thanks for tuning in to Academy Barons Baseball here on the MLB Academy Barons YouTube channel. There you get a good look of Kenny Landro, the head coach for the Academy Barons, talking with the umpires, as well as the head coach for the Orange County Riptide. And the head coach is Connor Spencer, who has served as a director of player development at Cal State Fullerton the past 2 seasons. Also on the Riptide staff is Matt Smith and Brian Connor. And for the Academy Barons, also on their staff is James Bishop, Lorenzo Gray, and pitching coach AJ Monterez. Again, the Barons 9-14 on the season, taking on the Orange County Riptide, who are 13-8. We're going to take a quick break for the national anthem here on the Academy Barons YouTube channel. And when we come back, we'll have the starting lineups for both teams, as well as the starting defense for the Barons here ahead of the top of the first. Back here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy. Again, my name is Noah Alvarez. Just about ready for the top of the first inning between the Orange County Riptide and your Academy Barons. Game number 24 on the season. Barons hoping to pick up win number 10. Currently sitting at 9 wins, and the next win would be the 10th, and they would finally crack the double digits. They're already ahead of their mark last season. They only finished last year with 8 wins on the year, so they're already 1 game better than they were last year. As you see, the Academy Barons take the field for the top of the first inning. So let's go ahead and get you the starting lineup for the visiting Orange County Riptide. Playing center and batting leadoff is Michael Diaz. In the 2 spot, it's the shortstop Patrick Hackworth. Batting third and playing left field is Ace Reese. In the cleanup spot, it's third baseman Rocco Gump. Second baseman Camden Bates is batting in the 5 spot. Batting sixth and playing first base is Jack Hammond. Brendan Wilkinson is the catcher and will be batting 7th today for the Riptide. Batting 8th is the right fielder Matthew Thomas, and batting 9th is the DH Matthew Flaherty. The starting pitcher for the Orange County Riptide, who we'll see in the bottom of the first inning, will be Luis Becerra. But here in the top of the first, we'll get to see the Barons starter on the mound warming up. Wearing number 25, it's the 6'1" right-hander. Played this last spring at UCI, the University of California, Irvine. That's Dante Zamudio getting his final warm-up pitches for the Academy Barons, making his 6th start on the season. He's been magnificent in all but 1 start this year. 4 of his starts have registered quality starts. He last started last Tuesday against the San Diego Sunrays. Went 5 innings, gave up 1 run, 3 hits, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts as he didn't factor into the decision. But the Barons weren't able to get the run support that Zamudio needed for the win. In fact, the Barons lost that game by a score of 3-2. Again, that was last Tuesday on July 2nd. As you see the final warm-up throw for Efren Ortega, the catcher. And we'll get you the rest of the defense for your Academy Barons. Behind the plate, it's Efren Ortega. At third, Colin Taylor. Over at short, Evan Cornwell back from injury. At second base, Dylan Lena. And at first, Andrew Kirchner. In the outfield from left to right, it's Raymond Jenkins, Deuce Robinson, and Jacob Klarnowski. Again, Dante Zamudio on the mound. That's your defense for the Academy Barons here tonight. Michael Diaz steps into the batter's box. The left-hander awaits the first pitch, and it's ball 1. So Dante Zamudio making his 6th appearance, 6th start of the season for the Barons this summer. Has an ERA of 2.88. Only has a 1 win on the season, 1-2. As the Barons haven't been able to get the right-handed starter the most run support during his starts. Played this past spring for UCI, the Anteaters, but the spring of 2023, he was a member of L.A. Pierce College, pitched and played the field for the Brahms. 2-0 count. Michael Diaz checks his swing, but it's a strike nonetheless as he did go around. 2-1 the count. 6:10 is the time here in the city of Compton. Nice weather that we're having. Currently 80 degrees. This slider does catch the inner half. 2 balls, 2 strikes. For Zamudio, we'll see a fastball, changeup, slider, and curveball. Here's the 2-2, and he does get Diaz to go down via the strikeout. Changeup there on that 2-2 count. So Efren Ortega throws it around for the Barons defense, and there's quickly 1 out. Here in the top of the first. Again, thanks for tuning in to Barons Baseball. Zamudio uses his fastball very close to half the time that he's on the mound. We'll see the slider the second most, followed by the curve. We saw an early changeup, but he doesn't throw the changeup often, as he misses first pitch there to Patrick Hackworth, the shortstop. He also hits from the left side. 1-0 the count. Hackworth wearing number 3. He's an infielder from UC San Diego. This one misses in the dirt. 2-0 the count. Zamudio also fell behind 2-0 to the leadoff hitter, Michael Diaz. Catching the outer half there. 85 on the radar gun. 2-1 the count. Zamudio's fastball will average 90. Sometimes you'll see him hit 92, 93. This one's hit into right field. Klinovsky will play it on a couple hops and keep Hackworth to a single, but it's a one-out single for the Riptide here in the top of the first. So that'll bring the number 3 hitter up with the runner at first. Potentially a double play ball brewing for the Academy Barons. Zamudio will have to work for the stretch. Ace Reese, the left fielder, wearing number 1, will also hit from the left side. A lot of lefties in the lineup today for the Orange County Riptide. Again, the Riptide are 13-8, currently in second place. Throw over to first to check in on the runner, but he's back in with the slide. This one missing down and away with the fastball. It's a 1-0 count. Zamudio pitching from the third base side of the rubber. Delivers a pitch for a strike as he gets Reese to swing over the top of that one. 1-1 the count. Reese played this past spring at the University of Houston over in the state of Texas. Fastball misses. 2-1 the count. Big hole on that right side of the infield as Kirchner holding the runner, Denalina, in double play depth along with Evan Cornwell, the shortstop. This one hit high up into the air in right center. Deuce Robinson's going to his left. Klinovsky does get to it as he falls to his knee right before the track. And so that means Hackworth will have to retreat back to first base. That ball hung up in the air for a very long time, and it was Klinovsky, the right fielder, who got to it for out number 2. So nice job to stay with it. Not a lot of wind here today. Not as breezy as we've had in the past. 2 outs, a runner on first, and that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Rocco Gump. Gump standing at 6'3" from Northwestern State University and swings through the first pitch that Zamudio delivers. 0-1 the count. Move over to first. Kirchner applies the tag, but it's not going to be in time to get Hackworth. He's back in safely. 2 outs. There's a runner on here in the top of the first inning. Showing bunt. Gump does get it down, but Zamudio handles it, fumbles it momentarily, and Gump had the speed to get all the way to first in time. With 2 outs, he was trying to bunt his way on safely. We'll see if they give that an error on the pitcher. Zamudio came off the mound cleanly. So now there's runners on first and second. They do give Zamudio the error. Now it'll bring up the 5-hitter, Camden Bates, who's playing second base today for the Riptide. Move over to second. No one covering, but Zamudio letting his presence be felt. Hackworth at second. Gump is at first. Kirchner not going to hold the runner at first with the runner at second. Here's the first pitch to Camden Bates. It misses outside. 1-0 the count. Dante Zamudio trying to stand both those runners and get on to the bottom of the first. Slider does miss outside. It's a 2-0 count now to the second baseman. On deck is the first baseman, Jack Hammond. Missing the zone there with the fastball. So control hasn't been as sharp today for Zamudio as it has been in his previous outings. He's not a pitcher that walks a lot of guys. In 25 innings, he's only given up 5 walks on the season. This one does catch the inner half. He's typically very efficient when he's on his A game. Draws a lot of weak contact. 3-1 the count. 2 outs, runners on first and second. Zamudio delivers. This one's a fastball. Didn't look like it caught the barrel as it may have cracked the bat. Cornwell goes back into shallow center field and camps under it for out number 3. So Zamudio does allow 2 runners to reach, one via the single and one via the error made by himself. However, he strands both those runners as he gets Camden Bates to pop up to the shortstop, Evan Cornwell. Now we're going to transition to the bottom of the first. Again, thank you for tuning in to Academy Barons Baseball here on the Academy Barons YouTube channel. My name is Noah Alvarez. Let's go ahead and get you the starting lineup for the Academy Barons here, as we'll see the top 3, at least in the bottom of the first. Evan Cornwell will lead things off, and he's playing shortstop for the Barons defense. In the 2-spot center fielder, Deuce Robinson. Batting third and playing right field is Jacob Klanowski. In the cleanup spot, doing the DH duties today, is Maximus Berber. Andrew Kirchner will be playing first and batting fifth for the Barons today. Dylan Lena will be playing second and batting sixth. In the 7th spot, it's Efren Ortega, who's also doing the catching duties for the Academy Barons, and Kenny Landro. In the 8th spot, it's Colin Taylor, the third baseman, and batting ninth, rounding out the order, is Raymond Jenkins, the left fielder. So that's your starting lineup for the Academy Barons. On the mound for the Orange County Riptide, as you see him warming up here on the mound, it's Luis Becerra. He's a right-hander wearing number 17. We saw him earlier this year as he started on the mound for the Riptide during that 16-9 victory back on June 20th. Felt like forever ago. He's a right-hander from California Baptist University. Hometown listed at San Leandro, and he stands at 6'4", so he's a tall, lengthy right-hander. Again, the Riptide come from Orange County. They play their home games over at the Great Park in Irvine. It's a really big sports facility and just a park in general with lots of field space for soccer games, baseball games, softball games. And there is a really nice stadium there that the USC Trojans played all their home games this season there, as there's a few members of the Trojans here on the Academy Barons squad. So just about ready for first pitch here in the bottom of the first. Again, scoreless top of the first. Let's see if the Barons can jump on the board here as Evan Cornwell, the switch hitting shortstop from Post University, will watch a pitch miss, a fastball. Missing inside, 1-0 the count. Becerra's going to work quickly as he throws this one, and this one's fouled off by Cornwell to the left side. 1-1 the count. The defense for the Riptide, Brendan Wilkinson's behind the plate over at first, Jack Hammond. Camden Bates is at second. Cornwell shows bunt, gets it down on the third base side. Going to be tough for the third baseman, Gump. Gump's throw escapes the first baseman. It goes all the way into foul territory, and that's going to be a error on the third baseman. It's going to be a single regardless for Cornwell, but an error on the throw that allows him to get to second. So now there's a runner on second with nobody out. Deuce Robinson will now step into the batter's box. Again, just to finish off the defense, Patrick Hackworth will be at short. Rocco Gump, who you saw make the throw, is at third. In the outfield from left to right, it's Ace Reese, Michael Diaz, and Matthew Thomas. Deuce Robinson offers at the first pitch and fouls right back into the netting. He's on that fastball. Luis Becerra will average in the high 80s. 0-1 the count to Deuce Robinson, the outfielder, and the football receiver as he hits this one right back to the pitcher, Becerra. Now Becerra has Cornwell in a pickle. Cornwell tries to juke out the third baseman, Gump, but he's tagged out. So Cornwell left a little too early there. It was a hard chopper right back to Becerra. Becerra thought about going to first, but quickly peeked at the runner over, and Cornwell committed towards third, got him in the pickle. So fielder's choice for Deuce Robinson. Score that 1-5 for out number 1. There's no longer runner in scoring position, however. There is still a runner on board for the Academy Barons. It's Deuce Robinson who has good speed and has attempted 4 stolen bases on the season. I'll check on the 6'6" outfielder, and he's back in with the slide. That'll bring up the 3-hitter and the right fielder, Jacob Klanowski. He was one of the late additions to the roster for the Barons and has done quite well offensively for the Barons in the short time that he's been here, making his 3rd start on the season. Him and J.J. Cruz I haven't seen get to play this year at the Academy. They both were added last week. This one, ooh, does graze the outer half. Tough one there. Oh, and 2 the count. Jump move over to first to check on Robinson. A little closer of a play, but Robinson's back in safely. 1 out in the inning. The first baseman, Jack Hammond, is holding the runner. Becerra delivers home, and Klanowski gets plunked by the fastball right on his front arm, 90 miles per hour, too. My one might leave a little bruise there tomorrow. So now there's runners on first and second. Now it'll be Maximus Berber getting his first AB on the evening. Berber's only played 3 games thus far for the Barons with the bat. He's also a pitcher on the roster from Whittier College. As a member of the Whittier Poets baseball team, he does pitch and play the field. So he's a 2-way player. Has 2 hits and 11 ABs this season. This one does slide outside the zone. 1-1 the count. 1 out. Klanowski's at first. Robinson's at second. Becerra comes set, working quickly, and this one doesn't catch the zone. Luis Becerra, a right-hander, pitching from the first base side of the rubber. Checks on the runner in second, now delivers home, and Berber fouls this one off. It's now a 2-ball and 2-strike count, 1 out in the inning. Runners on first and second here in the bottom of the first. Again, thanks for tuning in to Academy Barons Baseball here on the Academy Barons YouTube channel. Berber offers at this one, hits it on the ground to the right side. They're not going to be able to churn 2. Making the throw is Camden Bates over to Jack Hammond. Both runners advance 90 feet. There is 2 outs in the inning. But it was a productive out nonetheless for Maximus Berber. And that'll bring up the 5-hitter, Andrew Kirchner. Kirchner's been a staple for the Barons defense and offense, making his 22nd start. So I started all but 2 games this season for the Academy Barons. This one misses in the dirt. It's a 1-0 count. Only his teammate over at Golden West, Dylan Lena, has started more games than Andrew Kirchner this summer. First baseman chops this one on the ground again to Camden Bates over on the right side. He's hustling down the line, but it's not going to be in time to beat the throw, as that'll be the 3rd and final out. So the Barons do get 2 runners in scoring position, however. Strand both those runners as we head to the top of the second. Again, thanks for tuning in to the Academy Barons Baseball here on the Academy Barons Baseball YouTube channel. My name is Noah Alvarez. Top of the second, when we come back, due up for the Orange County Riptide is 6-7-8. Both the Barons and the Riptide sent 5 hitters up to the plate, so both the 6 hitters will lead off here in the top of the second and in the bottom of the second. Again, it'll be Jack Hammond, Brendan Wilkinson, and Matthew Thomas to face Dante Zamudio here in the top of the second when we come back. Back here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy here in the city of Compton. Leading things off is the first baseman, Jack Hammond, hitting from the right side as he digs in. Over on the batter's box, Dante Zamudio. I believe getting the Rawson bag, putting it back behind the plate. We'll reset the defense for you for your Academy Barons. Efren Ortega's behind the plate. Over at third base, Colin Taylor. Evan Cornwell at short. At second, still in Lena, and over at first is Andrew Kirchner. Jacob Klonowski is in right field, Deuce Robinson's in center, and Raymond Jenkins is the man in left field. Zamudio's first pitch to Hammond. Slides and misses the zone. Down and away for a ball. 1-0 the count. We'll see 6-7-8. Jack Hammond will lead things off here in the top of the second. Still a scoreless game. Hammond takes a healthy hack, but comes up empty on the fastball. Brandon Wilkinson is on deck while Matthew Thomas is in the hole. This one hit on the ground over to second. Lena sliding to his left, makes the throw over to Kirchner in time for out number 1. So 1 out in the inning. Dante Zamudio on the mound. A native to Sylmar, California, over in the San Fernando Valley. Went to Grace Brethren High School. And then initially committed and played his first season at West Virginia State before transferring back to L.A. Pierce Community College over in the San Fernando Valley. And played this past spring at UCI. First pitch misses upstairs to Wilkinson, the catcher. 1-0 the count. Barons hoping to get their 10th win on the season. This one hit into right center. Going to his left is Deuce Robinson. It's actually Klonowski who was in perfect position, ranging to his right. Camps under it for out number 2. With a lot of tail, I thought that was going to be a hard play for Robinson, but Klonowski was shaded towards the gap and had no trouble making it out to right center and catching that one. 2 outs. That'll bring up the right fielder, Matthew Thomas. Matthew Thomas awaits the first pitch, and he offers at the first one. Also hit into right center. Klonowski's going back. He's been a busy man today, and he does make the catch on the warning track, shielding his eyes from the sun. Not an easy play, but the right fielder had recorded 2 outs in the inning, and that last one being the most impressive of the 2. A 1-2-3 inning for Dante Zamudio, and he only needed 5 pitches to get all 3 out, so that's going to help the longevity in this outing for the starter. We now transition to the bottom of the second. Again, it'll be 6, 7, 8 due up also for the Academy Barons as both teams sent 5 hitters to the plate. In the first inning, Luis Becerra on the mound. Again, thanks for tuning in. My name is Noah Alvarez. Apologize that we couldn't have the stream up for you guys this past week during the week of 4th of July. Since the last game here at the Academy, last broadcast here, Pirates went 2-5 during that 7-game stretch. After their 6-5 win over the Ventura County Pirates, they fell to the Conejo Oaks in back-to-back games, then fell short to the San Diego Sunrays for the first time this season last Tuesday, July 2nd, before defeating the Arroyo Seco Saints by a score of 3-1 on Wednesday, July 3rd. After that game on July 3rd, they traveled to Orange County to take on the Riptide on Saturday, July 6th. Fell by a score of 5-2. And then Sunday, traveled to Santa Barbara to take on the Foresters. And weren't able to get a run across as they lost that game 5-0. It was a tremendous pitching effort, though, by the starter Maximus Berber, who had one of his better outings on the season. Went 7 innings, gave up 4 hits and 1 earned run. The other runs came off the arm of Christian Casillas. But again, it was a bright spot for Maximus Berber, the starter, in the 5-0 loss. And then yesterday, the Barons did bounce back and defeat the Saints by a score of 6-5. First pitch to Dylan Lena, the second baseman. He started all 24 games now for the Academy Barons this summer. Very durable infielder who's played multiple positions. This one's popped up into right field. Should be no problem for Matthew Thomas, and he makes the catch for out number 1. So that'll bring up Efren Ortega, the catcher. He's one of 5 catchers on the roster for the Academy Barons. We've seen 5 different guys make starts for the Barons this summer. Ortega just graduated high school over at the DNA Prep Academy. 0-1 the count. Becerra throws him a breaking ball, and Ortega swings through that one. No balls, 2 strikes. Nobody on base, 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Becerra from the windup misses with the breaking ball there outside. 1-2 the count. Ortega waits the 1-2. Lines this one right to the shortstop, Hackworth, and he sticks the glove out for out number 2. Right on the line. And unfortunately for Ortega, right to the shortstop. 2 outs in the inning, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Colin Taylor. Let's see if we can get you some cool stats. Nope, didn't load in time. But exit velocity, 96 miles per hour off the bat of Efren Ortega. Sometimes that's how baseball rolls. Arguably one of the hardest hit balls we've seen Ortega hit this season. Just unfortunately right to a player. Colin Taylor watches the fastball. Catch the outer half at 90 miles per hour. Missing the zone a little bit there. Becerra delivers the 0-1. It's another fastball. This time he gets Colin Taylor to swing through it. It's now an 0-2 count. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Nobody on base. Still a scoreless game here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy. Taylor drills this one into left field. Going back is Diaz. Diaz watches this one. Bounce off the wall. Taylor's now going to round first and take second. It's a 2-out double. Nice piece of hitting there as the off-speed pitch caught too much of the plate by Becerra. And the inning stays alive. Off the bat, it was 97 miles per hour. Traveled a total distance of 345, 5 more feet, and it probably clears the wall. I'm sure Colin Taylor and his teammates will joke about that one. maybe he has to spend a little bit more extra time in the weight room. Nonetheless, Colin Taylor has a 2-out hit. He's standing at second. Raymond Jenkins offers at the first pitch and fouls it towards the third base dugout. 0-1 the count to Jenkins. Played this past season at Barstow College for the Vikings, but will be playing next year at Morehouse College. Again, congrats to Raymond Jenkins. Swings through that fastball. It's now an 0-2 count. Morehouse College is a HBCU over in the city of Atlanta, in the state of Georgia. That's where Raymond Jenkins will play baseball this upcoming school year. Luis Becerra with the 0-2 catches the outer half. That's a fastball that sets down Jenkins, looking for the third and final out of the second inning, the bottom of the second, that is. So Colin Taylor does have that 2-out double, but he's stranded over at second after Raymond Jenkins gets retired for the third out here in the bottom of the second. Again, thanks for tuning in to Academy Barons Baseball here. Dante Zamudio will make his way to the mound for the top of the third. Again, thanks for tuning in to Academy Barons Baseball here on the Academy Barons Baseball YouTube channel. 4 more games on the year for you to come out to this season. If you're a Southern California native, highly suggest you do. And only 1 more game this week if you're not counting tonight, as they will host the San Diego Sunrays for the final time this season this Saturday. First pitch scheduled at 6:05. Again, that's the next game here at the Academy. If you couldn't make it out today, come check us out Saturday evening, 6:05, as the Barons will host the San Diego Sunrays. We'll take a quick commercial break and be back with the top of the third inning in just a moment. Still a scoreless game here in the top of the third. It'll be 9-1-2 due up for the Orange County Riptide. Dante Zamudio on the mound for the Barons. Efren Ortega behind the plate. Andrew Kirchner over there at first. Dylan Lena is at second. Evan Cornwell at short. Colin Taylor playing at the edge of the grass. He's over there at third base. First pitch to the DH is hit into shallow center, and Cornwell can't go back and get it, as it's a leadoff single for Matthew Flaherty. Second hit of the ball game allowed by Dante Zamudio. So leadoff single. Okay, things are still scoreless here in the top of the third, and that'll bring up the leadoff hitter Michael Diaz, who struck out swinging in his first AB. Kirchner will watch. Matthew Flaherty, who's over there at first. Nobody out. Zamudio will have to work from the stretch. Here's the first pitch. It's popped up into the air. Foul, drifting over towards the left side. 0-1 the count. Zamudio kicks, delivers. This one's hit right past Cornwell by a couple of inches as it gets into left field. On a line, and Cornwell was shaded towards second base, trying to turn the double play, and maybe an inch or two, a few inches away from Cornwell's glove. As it sneaks into left. Back-to-back singles here for the Riptide at the top of the third. Zamudio's going to have to work some magic to strand both those runners. That'll bring up the number 2 hitter, Patrick Hackworth. Hackworth has started 13 games now for the Riptide, hitting .348 on the season. Spaghetti move over to second. Hackworth getting the start at shortstop today. Pulled foul to the right side. 0-1 the count. It's always Pretty remarkable to watch Dante Zamudio on the mound work through the second and third times through the lineup, as he'll have to mix up his pitches and locations. This one hit high up into the air into shallow center field. Deuce Robinson coming in into the shaded area in shallow center and makes a catch for out number one. A huge out number one there, as both runners will have to stay put at first and second. That'll bring up the left fielder, Ace Reese. One of the leading hitters on the team, has started 15 games on the year for the Riptide and is hitting .360. He flew out to right field. Back in his first AB, swings over the top of that changeup, and it's the first strike. 0-1 the count to Reese. Again, the Barons have yet to beat the Riptide, hoping to do so today. The third time these two teams are facing off against one another. One time here at the Academy, one time over in Orange County, and this one's also another changeup. 0-2 the count. So it seems like Zamudio has had a lot of success with that changeup. Wouldn't be surprised to see him throw it a third time, maybe a bit further out of the zone, to see how far Reese is willing to chase. 2 runners on, 1 out. Zamudio throws a fastball missing outside. 1-2 the count. Over at first is Michael Diaz. At second, it's Matthew Flaherty. Off-speed pitch gets the third strike of the AB. Reese is retired for out number 2. Again, Zamudio does a nice job. Second and third time through the order, mixing his pitches up, keeping these hitters off balance, and now has 2 outs in the inning, hoping to strand both those runners. He was back-to-back singles to lead off the inning, but he's gotten 2 quick outs here. This one does catch the inner half. Standing in the batter's box now, it's Rocco Gump, who reached on an error. He laid the drag bunt down to Zamudio's right. Zamudio had time to get it, but fumbled it, and that allowed Gump to reach safely. Gump chops this one foul to the right side. Runners on first and second. No balls and 2 strikes. There is 2 outs in the inning. Zamudio kicks. Div delivers. The 0-2 fouled to the line left side. .104 off the bat. Gump really got behind that thing, but it's foul to the left side. Zamudio now takes a long look in. Gump awaits the 0-2. Zamudio delivers the fastball that momentarily gets away from Ortega, but Ortega corrals it relatively quickly, and that keeps runners where they're at. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gump is the left-handed hitting third baseman, wearing number 12 from Northwestern State University. Zamudio delivers the 1-2, and it's also chopped foul to the right side, and we'll do it again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As the ball does creep onto the field of play, so one of the members of the dugout from the Riptide will jog out over there to get it. No one out in the bullpen just yet. Still very early on here in the game. Top of the third. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Rocco Gump, the third baseman. Runners on first and second. At first is Michael Diaz, and at second it's Matthew Flaherty. Good size turnout here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy, per usual. 1-2 fouled off the knee pad, I believe, of Efren Ortega, so we'll do it again. This will be the 6th pitch of the AB now. Rocco Gump's battling. Fouled off a pitch when he was down 0-2, and then fouled off now 2 straight here, down 1-2. 7th pitch of the AB. Coming up by Dante Zamudio. Hit up into the air, foul, as it drifts over the netting here, and so we'll have to wait now. Pitch number 8. Efren Ortega gives the signs to Dante Zamudio, who's pitching from the stretch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Looking for that out pitch here. 1-2, it's the changeup that gets Rocco Gum swinging. A strikeout for out number 3, and after the back-to-back singles given up by Dante Zamudio, a nice job working out of trouble there to get 3 outs without those runners advancing anywhere. It's still a scoreless ball game as we head to the bottom of the 3rd. Thanks for tuning in to Academy Barons Baseball here on the MLB Academy Barons YouTube channel. Again, we'll just kind of briefly talk about the standings once again. Your Academy Barons are currently sitting in 5th place with the record of 9-14, about 4.5 games back of the Arroyo Seco Saints, who they did defeat yesterday, so if they are trying to catch up on some ground, that does help the cause. They have 3 more games this week. This is game number 2 of 5. Sitting in 2nd place, no, it's 3rd place, is the Orange County Riptide with the record of 13-8. They're 2 games behind Santa Barbara, who currently leads the CCL South. Again, both these teams playing in the California Collegiate League. There's a South Division and a North Division. Here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy next Wednesday will not be an MLB Academy Barons game, but it'll be the CCL Showcase. So players selected from each team in both the South and the North will face off here in an all-star game or in a showcase here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy. So if you're in the Southern California area, highly recommend you check out that game. Be a good opportunity to see some of the best players from the California Collegiate League face off in one game. That first pitch is scheduled at 7:05, so a little bit later, but they will do a home run derby and a skills showcase, so it'll be kind of cool. A day full of events lined up for the players that are selected to play in that game. Leading things off is the shortstop Evan Cornwell. Luis Becerra still on the mound here in the bottom of the 3rd. Barons hoping to get a run across. Cornwell hits the first pitch right up the middle. Ranging to his left is Hackworth, and he makes a nice play defensively for out number 1. So that'll bring up the number 2 hitter, Deuce Robinson. 1 pitch, 1 out. Evan Cornwell's retired. Robinson reached on a fielder's choice back in his last AB and then got all the way to 3rd before being stranded. First pitch fastball by Becerra misses down and away. Robinson was a 2-sport athlete over at USC this past school year. Caught 13 passes and scored 2 touchdowns for the USC football team in the fall. And then played in 4 games for the baseball team as a freshman this past spring. This one does, I want to say catch the zone, but it got near it at least, and the home plate umpire rules it a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. No, 2 balls, 1 strike. This one misses further outside, and the home plate umpire will not rule it a strike. 3-1 the count to Robinson. Robinson swings through a fastball in the zone. It's now a full count to the number 2 hitter. Robinson hitting .246 on the season. The 3-2 misses downstairs, and so Luis Becerra walks his first batter on the evening. Robinson reaches first safely. There was a stretch during the middle part of the season that Robinson went on a 9-game hitting streak. He struggled early on, especially with breaking balls. But it was really good to see Deuce Robinson adjust at the plate and was able to hit a lot of breaking balls and had a 9-game hitting streak going from. He's now at first, and the first pitch to Jacob Klonowski misses outside. 1-0 the count. Konofsky hits from the left side from Cal State East Bay. Move over to first to check in on Robinson. Applying the tag is Hammond, but it's not going to be in time. Konofsky grew up in the city of Upland over in the Inland Empire. Went to Claremont High School. Konofsky hits this one into the air. Robinson was on the move. Now Robinson will have to go halfway as he retreats back from the stolen base. Making the catch in center field is Michael Diaz. Two outs in the inning. Robinson still at first, and that'll bring up the DH, Maximus Berber. Move over to first to check in on Robinson, but he's back in with the slide. Berber grounds it out to second in his first AB. The first pitch fastball misses outside. Want to know the count? Ken Berber playing two ways at Whittier College, getting his third start on the season on the field for the Academy Barons. 1-1 now after he swings through that fastball. And he pitched a gem Sunday against the Foresters, allowing only 1 run, 4 hits in their 5-0 loss. It was one of his better outings on the season as a pitcher. He hits this one foul to the right side towards the Compton Tartars football stadium here on the campus. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Deuce Robinson over at first base. Hammond holding the runner. Robinson takes off, and Berber fouls this pitch out of play behind the netting. So we'll do it again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's still 2 outs in the inning. Bottom of the third. Things are scoreless here between the Barons and the Orange County Riptide. 1-2 pitch. A fastball that freezes Maximus Berber as another runner is stranded for the Academy Barons. Berber goes down looking for out number 3. We've played 3 complete innings. Things are still scoreless. Again, thanks for tuning in to Academy Barons Baseball here on the Academy Barons YouTube channel. We'll be right back with the top of the 4th after a quick commercial break. Top of the 4th inning now here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy. Again, my name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from. Lovely evening here in the city of Compton. Temperatures now at 78. You know, they said temperatures were supposed to get up to the mid-90s in different parts of Southern California, but it actually was a lot cooler today than projected. In the areas like Compton and surrounding areas only reached 88. I'm sure other areas closer to the Inland Empire and towards like Pasadena in that area saw different temperatures, but here along the 91, temperatures didn't go past the 90s today at least and won't for the rest of the week. So a bit cooler of a week than expected. Top of the 4th, and will be the 5, 6, 7 hitters. Camden Bates, the second baseman, will lead things off against Dante Zamudio, still on the mound. Has that first pitch slider, and it misses the zone, not by much. And actually catches the zone in our chart here. 2-0 the count to Camden Bates. 5, 6, 7. Camden Bates, Jack Hammond, and then Brendan Wilkinson. Watches the 2-0 slider catch the zone. Dante Zamudio working from the stretch even though there's no one on base, as he usually does. The 2-1 misses, and it's now a 3-1 count. Bates is an infielder from the University of Tennessee. The Volunteers over in the SEC. And this fastball skips in the dirt. A 3-1 pitch that misses. It's a walk. 5-pitch walk to lead off the inning. That'll bring up the first baseman, Jack Hammond. Hammond in his first AB grounded out to second. There's now a runner on first and nobody out. Back-to-back innings now that Zamudio has let the leadoff hitter reach base safely. In the third inning, he gave up back-to-back singles but stranded both those runners after getting a fly out and 2 quick strikeouts. First pitch to Hammond is in there for a strike right down the middle. Zamudio currently at 48 pitches, will be at 50 very shortly. The 0-1 fastball misses outside. It's now a 1-1 count. Efren Ortega behind the plate. Colin Taylor's at third. Coivan Cornwell's at short. Lena's at second. And Kirchner's holding the runner at first. Runner doesn't take off, and that pitch there is swung on and missed by Hammond. It's now a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Zamudio shakes off a couple signs. Now gets the sign from Efren Ortega. Comes set. Here's the 1-2. It's lightly tapped over to the shortstop Cornwell. Flips it over to Dylan Lena. Lena throws it over to Kirchner. But Hammond was really hustling down the line, and so it'll just be a fielder's choice. 6-4 for out number 1. It's tough, too, because that one was tapped so lightly, and Cornwell had to charge it, but it gave time for Hammond to hustle it down the first base line. There's one out in the inning, and there will be a runner on first. That's Hammond. That'll bring up the catcher, Brendan Wilkinson, who flew out to right field. Klebnowski's been a busy man over there in right. Jump move over to first to check in on Hammond, but he's back in safely. Hammond does have 2 stolen bases, 2 for 2 on the season for the Orange County Riptide. And Zamudio's first pitch fastball misses downstairs, 1-0 the count. One out. Wilkinson at the plate. Making his 13th start on the season, hitting 194. Pokes this one to the right side, and it's out of play into the bleachers. Potential souvenir for a fan. 1 ball, 1 strike. Again, the sun beginning to set here. Just now reaching 7 o'clock here as we are in the top of the 4th. So a third of the way through the game. 1 ball, 1 strike. Wilkinson awaits the 1-1, and the slider does catch the outer half. One ball, 2 strikes. Zamudio. Again, from the city of Sylmar over in the San Fernando Valley. Breaking ball misses upstairs. That was the curveball. You don't see that very often. But he does have it in the arsenal. Two balls, 2 strikes to the catcher for the Orange County Riptide. In the outfield, it's Klebnowski in right, Robinson in center, and Jenkins in left field. The 2-2 slider misses outside. It's now a 3-2 count. It's full count with the runner on first. We'll be keeping close eye at first to see if they decide to put Hammond in motion. He's the runner at first. Gets a bigger lead. There's the jump, and he does take second. That pitch would have missed for ball 4 regardless, and so it's a walk. Worked by the catcher, Brendan Wilkinson. Zamudio has runners on first and second once again, back-to-back innings. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Matthew Thomas. Thomas flew out to right field, too, and that time it was a very impressive catch there by Klinowski, who made the catch ahead of the warning track. 1 out of the inning here in the top of the 4th. Zamudio pitches the first one, and it's hit into the air. Shallow center. Deuce Robinson finds it, camps under it, and makes that for out number 2. So Zamudio 1 out away again from stranding runners on first and second. It'll be the DH Matthew Flaherty. He had a single back on the first pitch. Bloop single right over the shortstop of Evan Cornwell. Two outs. And Zamudio delivers a first pitch strike to Flaherty. Flaherty making his 10th start on the season, hitting 167 entering today's game. This one slides inside. It's a 1-1 count now. Flaherty wears number 2, played at the University of Utah, which was in the Pac-12 this past year, but we'll now be playing in the Big 12 conference. The 1-1 from Zamudio, and it misses upstairs. Looked like a changeup there. Zamudio missing a little bit more than he was earlier on in the game. Had walked 2 batters here in this inning. Now has 7 walks on the season. Fouled back, and now evens the count at 2-2. Runners on first and second. Over at second, it's Jack Hammond. At first, it's Brendan Wilkinson. Zamudio hoping to strand those 2 runners right where they're at. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Lined foul on the right side. It'll go into the field of play, and another member of the dugout for the Riptide will have to go get that one. We'll do it again, 2-2. Again, thanks for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from. Due up in the bottom half of the inning. In the 4th, it'll be 5, 6, 7. Andrew Kirchner, Dylan Lena, and then Efren Ortega. This one misses upstairs. It's now a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Dante Zamudio missing a little bit more and more as the outing progresses. Full count, 2 outs. The runners will probably be in motion on the pitch. Runners take off, and he does get the strikeout here for out number 3 as Flaherty goes down swinging on the changeup. So nice piece of pitching there by Zamudio to strand those runners at first and second. Still a scoreless ball game as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Again, thanks for tuning in to Academy Barons Baseball here on the Academy Barons YouTube channel. When we come back, it'll be Andrew Kirchner, Dylan Lena, and Efren Ortega in the bottom of the 4th. Back here for the bottom of the 4th inning, Andrew Kirchner will lead things off, the first baseman. He'll be followed by Dylan Lena, the second baseman, and then the catcher, Efren Ortega. 5, 6, 7 due up in the order, and Luis Becerra still on the mound for the Orange County Riptide. Gonna try something a little different here. See if we can get you the stats that we typically see with the miles per hour, as well as the location. Trying to tinker with it here on the dashboard for you guys. So Luis Becerra on the mound. The first pitch to Andrew Kirchner is flailed out to the left side. There you get to see the release speed, exit speed, some of the other statistics. Andrew Kirchner broke his bat on that first pitch. So Kirchner will get a new bat as he walks over to the third base dugout. It's still a scoreless game here in the bottom of the 4th. Barons have 2 hits, 1 error, while the Riptide have 3 hits and 1 error. Andrew Kirchner awaits the 0-1 with the new bat, and he watches the fastball graze the outer half, 0-2. Kirchner offers at this one, but can only foul it off to the left side, and so he stays alive, trying to protect with 2 strikes. Luis Becerra working quickly, and he throws another pitch there that's fouled off to the left side. The shortstop Hackworth calls off the third baseman Gump right before the third base foul line, and then throws it over his second baseman's head. Still 1 out of the inning. So the second baseman, Dylan Lena, now will step into the batter's box. He had the RBI double back in the top of the 10th yesterday in the 6-5 win over the Arroyo Seco Saints. Was the hero in the victory for the Barons. This one, fastball that does catch the outer half. This one hit right back up the middle, but second baseman was shaded that way. Camden Bates throwing on the run towards his right, and has enough on the throw to make it in time to beat Dylan Lena for out number 2. So Dylan Lena's retired for out number 2, and that'll bring up Efren Ortega. Again, pitching and defense has been solid thus far, but the bats have yet to come alive for the Barons. Efren Ortega watches the first pitch fastball crowd him at the plate, and that's strike 1. Second pitch of the AB is also in there for a strike. 0-2, another fastball. And at 89 miles per hour. Luis Becerra working from the windup quickly. Gump charges this one from third base, throws it over in time to Hammond. A quick 1-2-3 inning for the Orange County Riptide, and things are still scoreless after 4. So it's a pitcher's duel thus far between Dante Zamudio and Luis Becerra. One of these teams' bats will have to wake up. And thanks for tuning in to Academy Barons Baseball here on the Academy Barons YouTube channel. Make sure you guys stay tuned in throughout the end of the broadcast. Even as the game ends, we'll have a player of the game graphic for you, as we have instilled that in the last few games. And we now have a cool new graphic to go along with it. The first player to win the player of the game was Adam Arroyo. He's actually won 2 player of the games because he had home runs in those games. One game was a loss, the other one was a win over the Ventura County Pirates. And the last game that we did over the Ventura County Pirates on that Thursday, June 25th, 27th, excuse me, it was Jonathan Largaspada, who was the man who closed the game out, recorded the final 4 outs, and he was the player of the game for the Academy Barons in their last, I want to say home game, but the last home game that was broadcasted here on the YouTube channel. And we transition to the top of the 5th. The leadoff hitter, Michael Diaz, will lead things off. 1, 2, 3, the top of the order due up here in the top of the 5th in just a moment. We'll take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, the top of the 5th. So Efren Ortega got his final throw down, and that'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Michael Diaz. Now the Riptide are in their 3rd time through the lineup. We'll see how Dante Zamudio can handle the hitters here. Diaz is 1 for 2 with a strikeout and a single. The center fielder hitting from the left side today. First base coach wasn't paying attention. That one hopped over his head as he had to do the splits and fall down to a crouch. Had a little dance move for everyone there. Just past your screen there, so you guys didn't get to see that. But first base coach having some fun. The 3rd place team taking on the 5th place team here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy. This one's smoked to the right side, but it's going to go foul by at least 20 feet or so. Good contact there by Diaz, but it's now an 0-2 count. Zamudio's in the driver's seat. Diaz doesn't have a home run on the season. Does have 16 hits and 57 at-bats. Zamudio has a long look in, shook off a couple pitches, but now comes set. Here's Zamudio's 0-2. The fastball does catch the inner half, and that's strike 3. Diaz goes down looking. So Diaz gets frozen for out number 1. 5th strikeout of the outing for Dante Zamudio. 3 pitches, 1 out. That'll bring up the shortstop, Patrick Hackworth. Hackworth's one of the leading hitters on this team, hitting .346 on the season. 1 for 2. As the first pitch slider misses downstairs. First pitch fastball, excuse me. That slider misses inside. It's now a 2-0 count to the shortstop. Nobody on base, and there's 1 out in the inning here in the top of the 5th. Things are scoreless. Hackworth sends this one foul to the left side. Fastball in at 90 miles per hour. 2 balls and 1 strike. Zamudio kicks, delivers the 2-1, and this goes foul to the right side. It's now a 2-2 count. Hackworth hits this one into right center. Deuce Robinson's going back and hits his glove, and it bounces off. So that's going to be an error on the center fielder there, as he took a good route to the ball. However, hung up in the air quite some time, and as he got to it, Just bounced off the glove. Maybe he squeezed it a little too soon there. Nonetheless, Hackworth is in to second. So a two-base error there by Robinson. Second error on the evening for the Academy Barons. And now Zamudio will have to work hard to keep that runner stranded at second. In steps the left fielder, Ace Reese, throwing it over to Cornwell. And again, some miscommunication between Zamudio and the guys covering the bag as he threw it to the shortstop side, but Cornwell was expecting the ball to be on the second base side. Luckily, he was still able to get the glove on it. Ace Reese in the batter's box awaits the first pitch from Zamudio, and this fastball is chopped foul to the right side. Reese is 0 for 2 on the day. Struck out in his last AB and then flew out to right field in his first. Hackworth is over at second. Zamudio currently at 74 pitches. Misses with the changeup there. One ball, one strike to count, one out in the inning. Top of the fifth. Reese can't catch up to that fastball there, a bit outside the zone. It's now a one ball, two strike count. Zamudio kicks, delivers the 1-2. This one smashed into center field. Robinson's racing back. Don't think he's going to be able to get to it as he has to play it off the wall. Now Reese is rounding second. He's going to stay put at second, but scoring from second base is Patrick Hackworth. So Reese changed places with him. There'll be an unearned run on the line to Dante Zamudio, but an RBI double nonetheless for Ace Reese. So the Riptide strike first, and the pitching coach, A.J. Monterez, will now stroll out to the mound. 1-0 is the score. Riptide lead over the Barons here in the top of the fifth. It'll be the third baseman, Rocco Gump, due up. As Monterez will talk with Efren Ortega, the catcher, and Dante Zamudio, the pitcher. Okay, thanks for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from. The Academy Barons have 5 more home games, and if we're not counting this one, then 4 more home games on this season for you to come check us out here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy in the city of Compton. Next game will be on Saturday evening as they host the San Diego Sunrays. Mound visit is over. Efren Ortega's back behind home plate, and the infield disperses. Riptide now have a 1-0 lead over the Barons here in the city of Compton. Barons hoping to get their first victory on the year against the Orange County Riptide, team currently in third place with a record of 13-8. Move over to second. Cornwell applies the tag, but not going to be in time to get Reese. Reese does have pretty good speed. Only has 1 stolen base attempt on the season. The next pitch misses downstairs, and it gets past Ortega. Now advancing to third base is Reese. So a wild pitch has the runner 90 feet away from scoring. One 0 count to Rocco Gump. Infield's going to come in now, playing at the edge of the grass to prevent that run from coming across. It's a high chopper over to the right side of the infield. Zamudio waits for it to go. No, it's going to stay fair. Kirchner didn't see the runner breaking for the plate, So Zamudio does get one big out there, but scoring on the ground out was Ace Reese. A slow developing play. 1-3 on the putout. Again, it was a high chopper. I think Kirchner thought I was going to go foul, and Zamudio was hoping it would. But after it kind of died after a few bounces, Zamudio flipped it underhand to Kirchner. But as he did that, Reese was able to score from third. And Kirchner, with the sun in his eyes, didn't see until late. So 2 outs, no one on base. Now a 2-0 lead for the Orange County Riptide. That'll bring up the second baseman, Camden Bates. He hits the first pitch into right field, the shallow blooper that falls in front of Klivnovsky for a 2-out single. Only the second hit of the inning given up by Zamudio. Riptide now have 5 hits as a team. And they'll extend the inning once again. Jack Hammond now will come up to the plate. Next pitch will be number 80 for Zamudio. Still a quality outing. 2 runs through 5 innings thus far. 5 hits given up. Barons have yet to provide him run support. The first pitch is smoked into left field, but he got under it a bit as Hammond will be retired. Raymond Jenkins camps under it in left field for out number 3. So 2 runs come across for the Riptide in the top of the 5th. They now lead 2-0. Barons will have to get their bats going here as we head to the bottom of the 5th. The due up in this half of the inning will be 8-9-1. Colin Taylor will lead things off when we come back. Again, thanks for tuning into Academy Barons Baseball here on the Academy Barons YouTube channel. It's been a pitching duel thus far, and the Riptide broke through the scoring drought first. It's a 2-0 lead here as they put up 2 runs in the top of the 5th. Again, Barons now trailing for the first time today, hoping to get their first win against the Orange County Riptide, but they will have to now climb back from behind. It's only a 2-run deficit, and we've seen the Barons overcome greater deficits in the season thus far. And here, starting off the bottom of the 5th, is the third baseman, Colin Taylor. He had a 2-out double back in the 2nd inning. One of the better hit balls we've seen Colin Taylor hit this season. From LA Valley College, making his 21st start on the season. At the beginning of the year, they moved him around quite a bit. Played left field 1 start, also first base a couple starts as he drills this one through the 5-6 hole. It's a leadoff single here to begin the 5th. Nice piece of hitting there by Colin Taylor. Now he has a double and a single. Barons are going to try and get some runs here in the bottom of the 5th. Again, led by head coach Kenny Landreau. Raymond Jenkins now will step into the batter's box. Struck out looking in his first AB. Taylor's over at first. Hammond's holding him. Jenkins shows bunt. The fastball ran in on Jenkins, and he tried to pull it back, but it hit bat, and it went to the netting here, so it's a foul ball for strike 1. Jenkins awaits the 0-1, offers at another fastball, but he comes up empty there. It's now a quick 0-2 count. Colin Taylor's at first. Luis Becerra still on the mound for the Orange County Riptide. So the same defense. Drilled into center field, but going to be no problem for Diaz. As Colin Taylor retreats back to first, there's now 1 out in the inning. Good contact, but didn't catch everything on that one. Jenkins is retired for out number 1. It will be the top of the order now. Evan Cornwell, who hit from the left side with the righty on the mound. Cornwell's 1 for 2. Hit a single and then reached second on the throwing error by Gump in the first inning. Offers at the first pitch. It's a bloop over to the left side. That's going to stay fair. Now racing around second, heading for third is Taylor. Here's the throw. Beating the throw and getting ahead of the tag is Colin Taylor. Good base running there by the third baseman. Trailing on the play is Evan Cornwell as he gets to second. There's now 2 runners in scoring position.
Number 44, Deuce Robinson.
One out of the inning, and that'll bring up the center fielder Deuce Robinson. The outfielder from USC. On the summer season, does have 7 RBIs on the year. Looking for number 8 and potentially 9 here if he's able to find a gap. First pitch fastball misses outside. Deuce Robinson standing at 6'6", the two-sport athlete from USC. This one hit over on the right side, past Camden Bates. Now Evan Cornwell is going to be held up at third. The throw was well up the third base line. The hindsight's always 20/20 as it was a safe and smart decision there to hold Cornwell over there as the right fielder Thomas came up firing. RBI single for Deuce Robinson. He does get RBI number 8 on the year. Going to third is Cornwell, and scoring on the play is Colin Taylor. First pitch swinging there too by Robinson. No, second pitch of the AB. Now it looks like the pitching coach for the Orange County Riptide will call time for a mound visit. Again, a golden opportunity here with the number 3 hitter, Jacob Klivnovsky. Again, Klivnovsky, one of the 2 new hitters on the team. Both him and J.J. Cruz started playing last week for the Barons. Some late additions. Klivnovsky making his 3rd start on the year. Does already have a RBI. That came on the home run that he hit, the solo home run. We'll get you exactly when that home run was, as I couldn't remember off the top of my head. It did come yesterday. Yesterday, back in the middle innings for the Academy Barons. He had a solo shot in a 6-5 victory for the Barons. It's now a 2-1 game, and still potential for the Barons to put up more. Robinson's at first. Over at third is Evan Cornwell. Klivnovsky steps into the batter's box. The junior from Cal State East Bay. Ooh, throw over to first, and this one was a close play, but Robinson back in safely. And he has that long frame, so he does use that to his advantage as far as diving back. Luis Becerra from the stretch on the first base side of the rubber. Delivers the first pitch, and a good block there by Wilkinson. Wilkinson's behind the plate. Gump's over there at third. Hackworth is at short. Bates is at second, and Hammond's holding the runner at first. Robinson has to dive back to first again after another throw by Becerra, but he's back in safely. In the outfield, it's Matthew Thomas in right, Michael Diaz in center, and Ace Reese over and left. This one smoked to the left side. Reese going back on it. It's going to go over his head. Robinson got a great read, never broke stride, and he's going to score from first. A 2 RBI double for Jacob Klivnovsky. And now the Barons retake the lead just like that here in the bottom of the 5th. It was a hard line drive that forced Cornwell to go back, thinking he might have to tag up on it, but Robinson coming from first saw it all the way and maybe took a good risk there as he never broke stride. was racing around third before Reese came up with that ball, so that throw is not going to be in time from the outfield. 2 runs come across on the Klonowski double, and now Berber will step into the batter's box. 1 out still in the inning. First pitch, changeup missing downstairs off the arm of Becerra. Want to know the count to Berber. Berber 0 for 2 with the strikeout and a ground out. Becerra delivers the second pitch of the AB, and it's outside. Looks like they're going to get an arm starting to warm up in the bullpen over there for the Orange County Riptide past the first base dugout. 2 balls, no strike, 1 out. Looked like the home plate umpire was going to get ready to call that one a strike, but he wisely decides not to. 3-0 the count. Berber awaits the 3-0 pitch from Luis Becerra. This one does catch the inner half. Bit of a borderline call, but strike nonetheless. Becerra set already. Delivers a 3-1 downstairs, and that one misses. The fastball can't catch the zone, and Berber works a walk. So now there's runners on first and second. Remember, they already used a mound visit earlier to try and settle down Becerra. They bring up the 5-hitter, Andrew Kirchner, and a chance for the Barons to blow things wide open before that reliever can come into the game. Looked like it was number 22. That would be Sam Hasegawa, who's warming up in the bullpen. The first pitch fastball, no changeup, skips in the dirt to Kirchner. It's a ball 1. Next pitch will be number 70 for Luis Becerra, the starter for the Riptide. Kirchner swings at this one, but fouls it off to the left side. Good contact, but we need to work on keeping it fair. So both teams break through here in the 5th inning. Riptide scored 2 in the top. Barons has scored 3 thus far with 2 more runners on base. Kirchner just missed that one as he fouls it back into the netting. 1 ball, 2 strikes. On deck is another dangerous hitter in Dylan Lena. One, 2, Kirchner taps this one foul to the right side. Two balls, 2 strikes. Also fouled back. One, 2 count again from Luis Becerra. Check swing there by Kirchner. Home plate umpire said it was a foul ball. They did clip the bat. So Kirchner will stay alive. Some of the members in the first base dugout not agreeing with the call. And now the home plate umpire shares some words with the first base dugout as there was some chirping. Didn't hear anything excessive there, but the home plate umpire gives a warning. 1-2 again from Luis Becerra. And the changeup misses in the dirt. It's now a 2-ball, 2-strike count. And the pitch just before, Kirchner checked his swing and must have made contact with the ball as it was fouled off at home plate. He started running as if he swung and missed and was going for first, but home plate umpire ruled it a foul ball. Kirchner now drills this one into center. Going back is Michael Diaz, still going back. It's going to go over his head and one hops the wall. Now Klonowski will have to try and score from third. Bad throw there by the center fielder to his cutoff man, and that allowed Klonowski to get there as it was a late read from second. Berber had to stay put at third, not as he was very close to Klonowski on the base pass, and Kirchner has a 1-out double. So another run does come across. And that'll bring up Dylan Lena now. 2 runners in scoring position. And now it looks like the pitching coach going to make another stroll to the mound, the second of the outing. I believe that's pitching coach Matt Smith. Again, they're led by head coach Connor Spencer. But Matt Smith serves as the pitching coach for the Orange County Riptide, and looks like that'll be the end of the day for Luis Becerra. So he does go 4 1/3 of an inning. Has given up 4 runs, all of which came in here in this inning, all of which are earned. Had given up 7 hits, and we'll get you a little bit more on the line as well as the new pitcher, as it's Sam Hagasawa. So we'll tell you a little bit more about the new pitcher and the final line, or at least some of the final line for Luis Becerra in just a moment after this quick commercial break. Back here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy, your Barons now lead 4-2 and still have 2 runners on base with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Now into the game, wearing number 22 for the Orange County Riptide, Sam Hagasawa. Hasegawa, excuse me. He's a left-hander that stands at 6 foot even from the University of California, San Diego, UCSD. Pitching from the first base side of the rubber. First pitch is broken, the bat of Dylan Lena. Throwing over to first, and is not going to be in time as it skips out of the glove of Hammond. So what should have been a routine ground ball for Hackworth and the first baseman. Error on the, we'll see who they give that error to, but it should be to Hammond as he tried to make the backhand pick. Squirted it out of his glove, and now Lena has the RBI ground out. Reaches via the air.
Now batting number 16, Ortega.
So E6 on Hackworth. Lena's now over at first, and at third is Andrew Kirchner. And Efren Ortega swings at the first pitch from Hasegawa. Comes up empty. Still 1 out of the inning. This is the 9th man to come to the plate here in the bottom of the 5th. 5-2 is the score, as Berber scored on that ground out. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ortega just graduated high school, now playing summer ball for the Academy Barons. Breaking ball can't catch the zone. It's now a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Luis Becerra's day is done after 76 pitches. He went 4 1/3, gave up 2 walks, 7 hits. Was responsible for Berber as he came across the score. Also responsible for Kirchner, who's at third. So we'll give you his final run total. He also did have 2 strikeouts in the outing. Again, Sam Hasegawa is the new pitcher on the mound. Has a 2-2 count on Efren Ortega. Looking for his first hit of the evening. Had a line out and a ground out. Hasegawa. Curveball does catch the inner half, says the home plate umpire, and that's strike 3. Nice bender there by the lefty. 2 outs in the inning. It'll be Colin Taylor who led off the inning with a single through the 5-6 hole. There's runners on first and third. Lena at first, Kirchner at third. Taylor offers at the first pitch fastball, but he can't catch up to it. 89 on the radar gun off of Sam Hasegawa's arm. An 0-1 count. Lena's at first, has a small lead with the lefty on the mound. Taylor fouls his fastball back over the netting, and it's quickly an 0-2 count. No balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Barons lead 5-2. All 5 have come across in the bottom of the 5th. There's the breaking ball, and it's fouled off past the first base dugout there. Look out. Count remains 0-2. Raymond Jenkins is the man on deck. Colin Taylor does put together some good ABs. Fouls another one off to the right side. We've seen both him and Dylan Lena on this season have a lot of long ABs, tough ABs, where they foul off a lot of pitches, really make the pitcher on the mound work. And he chases that one there as that's out number 3. So the Barons do get 5 runs across here in this bottom of the 5th inning. They now have a 3-run lead. 5-2 is the score. As they sent 10 batters to the plate here in the bottom half of the 5th. Started off with a Colin Taylor single, and things kept going in the top of the order when Cornwell hit a single, Deuce Robinson had a single, Jacob Kanofsky had a 2 RBI double, Maximus Berber walked, Andrew Kirchner had an RBI double, Dylan Lena had an RBI ground out that ended up in an error. And now it looks like we're going to have a new pitcher on the mound for the Academy Barons. Dante Zamudio went 5 full innings. Joel Tornero is going to be the new pitcher on the mound, another hard-throwing lefty this time for the Academy Barons. So when we come back, we'll tell you a little bit more about Tornero, as well as have the final line for Dante Zamudio, the starter on the mound for the Academy Barons. So back here at the top of the 6th inning at the MLB Urban Youth Academy, Dante Zamudio's day is done. He threw in 80 pitches to go 5 innings. Gave up 5 hits, 2 runs, one of which was earned. Issued 2 walks and also struck out 5 batters in his outing. Not his best, but one of his stronger outings on the season. Dante Zamudio in line for the win, and we're going to see a really good arm out of the bullpen here in Joel Tornero from UC San Diego, so also teammates with the guy you just saw on the mound for the Orange County Riptide. First pitch from Tornero, it looks like a bunt there, a bunt attempt by Brendan Wilkinson, the catcher. Tried to drag his way on, but it fouled off home plate. I think it caught Efren Ortega on the thigh as well. Now the home plate umpire is going to dust off home plate. No balls, 1 strike. Due up in this half of the inning, the bottom of the order, 7, 8, 9. Joel Tornero, the lefty from UC San Diego. Pitching from the first base side of the rubber. Delivers that 91 miles per hour fastball there on the inner half. Throws his fastball 70% of the time. We'll also see a changeup and a slider. Slider a little bit more often than the changeup. 1-2 count as he misses upstairs. Tornero comes set. The 1-2 misses upstairs as well. Back-to-back fastballs up at the shoulder level. Nobody on, nobody out here in the top of the 6th. 2-2 count to the catcher Wilkinson. Skips past the glove of Efren Ortega, and it's now a full count. Again, 7, 8, 9, meaning Matthew Thomas is on deck, the right fielder. Full count, and this one misses way upstairs as Ortega wasn't able to glove it. So it's a walk after the count runs full. Tornero's going to have to find the strike zone soon. As coming up to bat is the right fielder, Matthew Thomas. Wilkinson. Does have 2 stolen bases on the year. Lefty will pay close attention to the runner at first. Matthew Thomas steps into the batter's box. He's 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts. Tornero again missing very badly on these last 4 pitches. Had a 1-2 count and then missed on 4 straight. And of the 4, only like 1 was threatening the zone. Barron taking on to a 3-run lead. Now Tornero, just missing the bottom half of the zone. That's going to be ruled a ball. So tough spot here for Tornero. And this one skips past Efren Ortega as it was on the inner half on the dirt. Ortega just tried to scoop it with his glove, but wasn't able to come up with it. So runner in scoring position on the wild pitch. Tornero's making his 4th appearance on the season. He only made 1 start as well. He's pitched 5 1/3 innings. Been very effective. And this one misses the zone as well. Home plate umpire looking for more baseballs. And pitching coach A.J. Monterez now going to talk to his pitcher Tornero after the 4-pitch walk. So due up is the DH Matthew Flaherty, but we'll await the mound visit. Only 3 people involved. Pitcher Joel Tornero, catcher Efren Ortega, and pitching coach A.J. Monterez. Tornero's start came last week. against the Arroyo Seco Saints, and he helped the Barons to a victory. Again, that was back last Wednesday, July 3rd, so a week from today. As he started the game, only went 2 innings and gave up 1 hit, 2 walks, and had a strikeout. But he then passed it on to Miles Hughes, who Miles Hughes was the one who credited with the victory, followed by Shamira Marshall, Christian Casillas, and Jonathan Larga-Spada, as the Barons went on to win that game 3-1. Nobody out, runners on first and second. Big lead over there at second base, but runner did not go. It's a first pitch strike to Matthew Flaherty. Flaherty. Tornero now delivers home. Fastball misses downstairs. A 1-1 count. A lot of activity over there at second by the catcher, Brendan Wilkinson. Getting out to big leads in secondaries, trying to distract Joel Tornero. The 1-1's fouled off to the right side. It's now a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Matthew Flaherty at the plate. On deck is the leadoff hitter, Michael Diaz. Barons hanging on to a 5-2 lead here in the top of the 6th inning. Long look over there at second. The runner's going to take off, and this one's hit foul to the left side. So Wilkinson seems like he's timing Joel Tornero's cadence as the lefty's working from the stretch with runners on first and second. One ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out. 2 runners on. Sun setting here as the lights are on here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy. Long look over there to second. Tornero now makes the move over to second, but no one was covering, so Wilkinson will scamper back. One, 2, hit on the ground over to Kirchner. Kirchner lays out. It's a fair ball. He tosses it underhand to Tornero, and that's an incredible defensive play there by the first baseman. Looks like he's in a little bit of pain there as he is holding either some part of his arm or his hand, but nonetheless, impressive effort there by the first baseman, and he tossed it in time. Score that 3-1 for out number 1. Both runners do advance into scoring position. Kirchner with his hand on his hips, trying to catch his breath. Maybe got the wind knocked out of him. In steps Michael Diaz, lefty-on-lefty matchup for Tornero. Fastball runs inside for a first pitch ball. 1-0 the count. Again, Tornero, the second pitcher of the evening we're seeing for the Barons. Colin Taylor's going to play even with the bag over at third. Dylan Lena shaded towards the hole. This one skips away from Ortega, but not far enough for the runner to test it. A 2-0 count. Diaz is 1 for 3, 2 strikeouts with a single as well. The leadoff hitter. Hitting .293 now on the season. Tornero trying to strand both those runners in scoring position at the top of the order. 1-1, no, 2-0, misses, catches the zone, excuse me, all over the place. It's a 2-1 count now. Hard to read the scoreboard sometimes through the netting here, but it's 2-1 count now. Tornero just missing the outer half. That's a tough call there for the lefty, as it's now a 3-1 count. Diaz has a hitter's count. We'll see what Tornero throws him here on the 3-1. And Diaz foul tips this one off the padding of Efren Ortega, the catcher. So it's a full count, 1 out in the inning. On deck is the shortstop Hackworth. Tornero hoping to strand those runners right where they're at. Here's the payoff pitch from the lefty, and he gets Michael Diaz to swing over the top of the fastball, and that's out number 2. Big out there. There's now 2 outs in the inning. Still 2 runners in scoring position. But Tornero has to have a little bit of confidence there after the strikeout, an important strikeout. That'll bring up the shortstop, Hackworth, who reached on an error made by Deuce Robinson as he was trying to track a ball in right center. First pitch to Hackworth misses above the shoulders. 1-0 the count. Again, this inning started off with back-to-back walks worked by Joel Tornero. There's now 2 outs in the inning. Both runners are at second and third. The 1-0 misses down and away. 2-0 the count. Hackworth awaits the 2-0 pitch, and the lefty misses downstairs again. 3 straight balls here to start this AB. We'll see if he loads the bases to face the next hitter, Ace Reese. Tornero working from behind, and this one misses well upstairs. It's now a 4-pitch walk, and now Kenny Landreau is going to make a mound visit. So it looks like that is the end of the outing for Joel Tornero. We saw a mound visit earlier in the inning by pitching coach A.J. Monterez. He walked the bases loaded, did get 2 important outs. One was on an incredible defensive play by the first baseman, Andrew Kirchner. The other was a big strikeout of Michael Diaz. But he's only able to record 2 outs. I'm sure not what Kenny Landreau and pitching coach A.J. Monterez was hoping for. He used 24 pitches. Is responsible for all 3 batters, or 3 runners, excuse me, that are on base. So we'll see who the next pitcher is and if he can strand those runners right where they're at. Looks like he's going to give way to the 3rd pitcher of the evening, and that's going to be number 34, Adrian Blanchett, right-hander from USC, who also has issues with the walk. But Blanchett's the new pitcher on the mound for the Academy Barons. He's thrown 9 innings thus far, making his 8th appearance. Has started 1 game for the Academy Barons. 9 innings, he's given up 11 earned runs, has issued 16 walks, but does have 12 strikeouts. Has an ERA of 11.11. We'll come into the game with the bases loaded here, and we'll have to be damn near perfect to get out of the inning. Only needs 1 out, though. But the bases are loaded here with 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning. Barons lead 5-2. When we come back, it'll be Adrian Blanchett to face Ace Reese. So it'll be the number 3 hitter, Ace Reese, and the new pitcher on the mound is Adrian Blanchett. Again, making his 8th appearance, 7th out of the bullpen for the Academy Barons this summer. Bases are loaded, 2 outs. Now it looks like Efren Ortega is going to call time and talk to his young pitcher. Blanchett redshirted while at USC this past spring. Played for Capistrano Valley Christian High School down in the Mission Viejo area of Orange County. Again, has pitched 11 innings thus far for the Academy Barons. 16 walks to go along with 12 strikeouts. Facing Ace Reese here with the bases loaded. Blanchett pitching from the first base side of the rubber. Here's the first pitch. It misses outside. His fastball lives in the high 80s but can also touch 90 as well. Blanchett in a big spot here. Delivers the 1-0. This one misses the glove of Ortega and it squirts away, and that's going to be a passed ball as the third run comes across. So just a miscue there by the catcher. Sure doesn't help the pressure that Adrian Blanchett is facing right now. 2 runners in scoring position. 5-3 is the score. That runner at second, Patrick Hackworth, is the tying run. That run does get credited to Joel Tornero's line. Blanchett missing on 3 straight pitches now, and not what you want to see there if you're head coach Kenny Landreau and pitching coach AJ Monterez. Blanchett delivers the 3-0, and Ace Reese was given the green light. Swings at a fastball that was a bit inside. 3-1 the count. Again, still 2 outs in the inning, so the Barons are 1 out away from stranding both those runners in scoring position and hanging on to this 5-3 lead. Blanchett looks in, gets the signs. Here's the righty's 3-1 pitch. Their slider, oh, missing the zone there. Looked good as it started, but it broke a little bit too much downstairs. Wasn't helped out there by the catcher, Efren Ortega. So it's a 5-pitch walk to the first batter he faces. All batters, or all the runners who have come on to base in this half of the inning have reached via the walk. Tornero threw 3 of them. That run that came across was credited to Joel Tornero's line. Now, Blanchett will face Rocco Gump, the third baseman. First pitch to Gump. Slider that, is in the dirt, and Efren Ortega made an incredible backhand there. Want to know the count. Gump's 0 for 3, but did reach on an error back in the first inning. Fastball does catch the outer half. In at 89 miles per hour. Adrian Blanchett with the bases loaded. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Here's the righty's 1-1. Chopped foul at the home plate. Now Blanchett is ahead 1-2, so he's 1 strike away from keeping the score as is, 5-3. He came in with a 5-2 game, and on a pass ball by his catcher, Efren Ortega, that's how the third run came across. Base is still loaded, 2 outs. Blanchett kicks, delivers the 1-2, the slider. Oh, wow, it plunks Rocco Gump. So ran too far inside, and a run will come across to score.
Now batting number 15.
So Matthew Thomas is the last man to come across the score, also credited to Tornero's line. Blanchett will now face his third batter, Camden Bates, the second baseman. He was ahead in the count 1-2, but he threw the slider that broke too far inside and plunked Rocco Gump, he's now aboard at first. First pitch to Camden Bates. The slider misses downstairs. Bases loaded, 2 outs. 1-0 count to the second baseman, Camden Bates. He awaits the 1-0, and the fastball misses upstairs. 2-0 the count. Bates had a single in his last AB back in the 5th inning. Remember, the Riptide got 2 runs back in the top of the 5th. Now it looks like Efren Ortega is going to go walk and talk to his pitcher. Second time he's done that this inning. Again, Adrian Blanchett entered with the bases loaded, has walked a guy and then hit another batter. Again, this inning started with a 5-2 lead for the Barons. It's quickly shrunk to a 5-4 lead. Looks like righty Marcellus Henry is warming up in the bullpen over there, past the third base dugout. Joel Tornero started the inning, walked 2 guys in a row, then was able to get 2 outs. However, walked the bases loaded, and that forced Kenny Landreau to pull his lefty for the righty Adrian Blanchett, who's now on the mound. Here's the 2-0 count. Not close, and so it's now a 3-0 count. On deck is the first baseman, Jack Hammond. Still 2 outs in the inning. So it's a 4-pitch walk here with the bases loaded. Another run comes across. Some problems here by the bullpen for the Academy Barons. Blanchett faces 3 batters and can't get 1 out. Kenny Landreau is going to make another mound visit. Not sure if this is to pull his righty. But now a tie game. 5-5 is the score. Looks like Marcellus Henry is going to make his way from the bullpen. So that's going to be the end of the day for Adrian Blanchett. Wasn't able to record an out. Both those runs, or all 3 of those runs that came across, are credited to Joel Tornero. Something interesting just happened as Marcellus Henry was jogging out from the bullpen. And I'm not sure if Adrian Blanchett said something to Kenny Landreau, but he's still currently on the mound talking with him and the rest of the infield. Marcellus Henry went back. Now Henry jogs out to the mound. And Blanchett gives the ball away to Kenny Landreau. So we do see the pitching change. 4th on the evening for the Academy Barons. Again, they had a golden opportunity up 5-2, but they saw that lead quickly get diminished. 5-5 is the score here. Henry trying to get that last and final out here in the top of the 6th. Keep those bases loaded. The bases now are loaded with the runners that would be charged to Adrian Blanchett.
Marcellus Henry.
So we'll tell you a little bit more about Marcellus Henry in just a moment. Yeah, thanks for tuning into Academy Barons Baseball. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Marcellus Henry is the new man on the mound for the Academy Barons, trying to get this final and third out here in the top of the 6th.
Number 38.
It was Joel Tornero who started the inning, then Adrian Blanchett, and now Marcellus Henry. Bases are still loaded. Jack Hammond is the man stepping into the batter's box. Over at first is Camden Bates, Rocco Gumps at second, and Ace Reese is at third. Marcellus Henry from Sonoma State throws the first pitch slider, and a pretty one there. 0-1 the count. Marcellus Henry went to El Segundo High School, then pitched for Long Beach City College before transferring to Sonoma State. This one's poked out into right field. Should be no problem for Klinowski. Camps under for out number 3. So finally, after the 9th man comes to the plate, Henry does record that final third out. Things are tied now as 3 runs came across there in the top of the 6th for the Orange County Riptide. 5-5 is the score as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Again, thanks for tuning in to Academy Barons Baseball here on the MLB Academy Barons YouTube channel. Looks like Sam Hasegawa's day is done. His new pitcher on the mound for the Orange County Riptide. Once we see a number, we'll go ahead and relay that name to you. And I'm Noah Alvarez. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break with the new pitcher, as well as the final line for a lot of the relievers that were just pitching for both these teams. Bottom of the 6th inning here. It's a tie game as things are all tied up at 5 apiece. The new pitcher on the mound for the Orange County Riptide is Tyler Valdez. He's a right-hander that stands at 6'1" out of the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley, which plays in the WAC conference, the Western Athletic Conference. Still alive, as they don't have a football anymore in that conference, but they still do have baseball. My alma mater, Sacramento State, still plays in that conference for baseball. Anyways, Tyler Valdez is the new man on the mound. Was a senior this past spring at UTRGV. And now, in this half of the inning, it'll be 9-1-2. Remember, the Barons put together 5 runs in the bottom of the 5th. They sent 10 men to the plate. Were able to get 5 runs across. They had a 5-2 lead entering the 6th. However, 3 runs came across for the Riptide. It's now a tie game. So a brand new ball game, as they say, as the catcher, Brendan Wilkinson, will now stroll back to the plate. Wilkinson's behind the plate. Jack Hammond over at first. Camden Bates at second. Patrick Hackworth at short. And Rocco Gump at third. First pitch from Valdez to Jenkins is a 91-mile-per-hour fastball in there for a strike 1. Oh, 1, Jenkins can't catch up to the 92-mile-per-hour heater, and it's now quickly an 0-2 hole for the left fielder. Again, 9-1-2 due up here in this half of the inning. A brand new ball game. Things all tied up at 5 apiece. 0-2 is fouled off the catcher's gear. Jenkins 0 for 2 on the evening, flew out and then struck out looking. Slider runs away from the right-handed hitter. It's now a 1-2 count. Good take there from Jenkins. A 9-1-2, so Evan Cornwell, the shortstop on deck, followed by Deuce Robinson. Missing inside to Jenkins, as he has to scoot out of the way of that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. This is now the third pitcher we're seeing on the evening for the Orange County Riptide. Luis Becerra, Sam Hasegawa, and now Tyler Valdez. Fouled off to the right side. Two balls, 2 strikes. Will be this now the 7th pitch of the AB. Two from Valdez, misses outside in the dirt as well, and so now it's a full count. Good job here by Jenkins to work it back full after being down in the count 0-2. Putting together a good AB here. Fouled off to the right side once again towards the administration building as it hits the roof. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out and nobody on base. 9-1-2 due up here in this half of the inning in this 5-5 game. And Jenkins swings through that one, foul tips it into the glove, and that's a strikeout for out number 1. This is the first outing on the summer for Tyler Valdez. Doesn't have any stats recorded for the Orange County Riptide this summer. Fastball living in the low 90s. 89 on the radar gun to get Raymond Jenkins on the strikeout. This one's hit on the ground over to the second baseman, Camden Bates. Cornwell is really hustling, but not going to be in time to beat the throw. 2 outs in the inning now. That'll bring up the center fielder, Deuce Robinson. Things going relatively quickly here now in the bottom of the 6th. Riptide have 5 runs off 5 hits and 2 errors defensively, while the Barons have 5 runs off 7 hits and 2 errors. Dante Zamudio was the man on the mound to start, and he will not factor into the final decision after going 5 innings and only giving up 2 runs. Pitch to Jem, but his bullpen unable to hold on to the lead. One 0 count to Deuce Robinson, and Robinson swings over the fastball. On the evening, Robinson is 1 for 2 with the walk. Had an RBI single in his last AB. This one hit on the ground to the right side, past Camden Bates as it gets into right field, so it's a 2-out single. Robinson has his 2nd single of the evening. Can be talented freshman, going to be a sophomore over at University of Southern California.
Now batting number 8, Jacob.
He's now aboard at first. He's always a threat to run. An aggressive base runner over there. Good speed, something you would expect from a wide receiver playing for the USC football team. That'll bring up the right fielder, Jacob Klinowski, as he digs into the left-handed batter's box. He had the 2 RBI double back in the 5th inning. Hoping to extend the inning here in the bottom of the 6th. Things all tied up at 5 apiece. This fastball skips in the dirt, and it was the catcher Wilkinson able to glove it on the backhand, keep it right in front of him to prevent Robinson from going to second. Hammond's holding the runner over at first base. Missing down and away. It's a 2-0 count now. Maximus Berber, the DH, on deck. This one smacked foul to the left side towards the riverbed. Good contact, but unfortunately foul for the Barons. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the 2-1 count. Robinson does go. This one's hit into left field. Does it stay fair? No, it does not. That would have been really good opportunity to score there had it stayed fair, because Robinson was in motion and would most likely scored from first base. So now it's a 2-2 count. So now Klinowski takes time, steps out of the batter's box. Tyler Valdez still on the mound for the Orange County Riptide. There's a runner on first, 2 outs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2 from Valdez. The slider catches the back door, and that's a strikeout looking for out number 3. So they do get a runner on. However, they strand that runner over at first base. In the bottom of the 7th, we'll see the heart of the order, 4, 5, and 6. But things are all tied up here as we head to the top of the 7th. Yeah, thanks for tuning in to Academy Barons Baseball here on the MLB Academy Barons YouTube channel. When we come back, 7, 8, 9, the bottom third of the order, due up for the Orange County Riptide. So back here now in the top of the 7th inning, things are all tied up at 5 apiece. Riptide got 2 runs in the 5th, 3 in the 6th, while the Barons got all 5 of their runs in the bottom of the 5th inning. Leading things off will be the catcher, Brendan Wilkinson. He also led off the top of the 6th. Both he and Matthew Thomas drew back-to-back walks. And were the first 2 to score back in the top of the 6th. Marcellus Henry still on the mound. First pitch is a slider that misses outside to the catcher. 1-0 the count. And Henry's the 4th pitcher we're seeing. Recorded the 3rd and final out of the 6th inning. Again, we'll see Brendan Wilkinson, Matthew Thomas, and Matthew Flaherty. So Brendan and 2 Matthews. 1 ball, 1 strike. Oh, there's that nice front door slider for strike 2. You could tell that Wilkinson wasn't expecting that one, as he thought it was going to hit him. Henry, a solid pitcher out of the, I almost said University of Sonoma State, but it's Sonoma State University, or Cal State University of Sonoma. Slider hit into the air. Deuce Robinson ranging to his left now and does glove this one for out number 1. So 1 out of the inning, and that'll bring up the number 8 hitter, Matthew Thomas. Marcellus Henry, again, a Southern California native, went to El Segundo High School, played football and baseball for the El Segundo High School team. Slider gets away from Efren Ortega, the catcher. And Kirchner's over at first. Lena's at second. Cornwell's at short. And Colin Taylor is at third base, the infield for your Academy Barons. Fastball misses outside. It's now a 2-0 count quickly to the right fielder. And the outfield from left to right is Raymond Jenkins, Deuce Robinson, and Jacob Klevnovsky. This slider misses outside. Henry being very careful with Matthew Thomas at the plate. Here's a 3-0 from Henry. The fastball does get over. Dialed it back a little bit as it was 86 on the radar gun. And pitched for the Seawolves this past spring in 2024. And the fastball misses downstairs, so it's a 5-pitch walk to Matthew Thomas. Back-to-back innings now he's walked. There's a runner on first, and that'll bring up the 9-hitter Matthew Flaherty. Flaherty does have a single that came back in the 3rd inning, but he's 1 for 3 on the day. He had a grounder, a sharp grounder to Kirchner over at first, and Kirchner dove to his left back in the top of the 6th. Popped up and flipped it over to his pitcher, Joel Tornero, at the time. This fastball runs outside, away from the lefty. 1-0 the count. Marcellus Henry can't find the strike zone there. It's now a 2-0 count after the fastball misses. Runner on first, 1 out. Move over to first. Kirchner applies the tag, a close play, but back in safely is Matthew Thomas. Another move over to first to check in on the right fielder, but he's back in safely with the slide. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out. Signs being given by the third base coach. I believe that's the head coach, Connor Spencer. Here's the 2-0 to Flaherty, and the fastball didn't threaten the zone there. It's now a 3-0 count. So after getting the first out rather routinely, he struggled to the next 2 hitters. Does look like there's some activity in the bullpen. This one does cast the outer half as Flaherty started walking towards first base, and Henry will have to battle back into the count. Three-one count. Henry kicks and delivers. Matthew Thomas takes off. Ortega had like a hitch in his throw, and luckily the ball skipped away from Cornwell, but right to Dylan Lena as it went up in the air. Maybe Orphan Ortega didn't grab the ball cleanly before he threw it, but there was a little pause in that hitch. Three balls, 2 strikes, and a runner on second now. Henry delivers home. Oh, and a near swing there by Flaherty as the fastball crowded him. But he didn't go around, and that's ball 4. So a stolen base followed by a walk. Now there's runners on first and second. And that turns things over to the top of the order. Michael Diaz, he struggled at the plate today, has 3 strikeouts. Does have that single that came back in the 3rd inning, 1 for 4. First pitch from Henry. Oh, and the slider might have caught the zone, but wasn't framed very well by Efren Ortega and actually popped out of his glove. So the home plate umpire doesn't rule it a strike. It's a tough one there. Maybe Ortega got crossed up on signs. Diaz has a 1-0 count. Gets a fastball and hits this into left field. Raymond Jenkins goes back and camps under it for out number 2. And so the runner at second will stay put. Big out number 2 there. That'll bring up the shortstop, Patrick Hackworth.
Now batting number 3,
Hackworth is 1 for 3 on the day. He drew a walk in his last AB. Also reached on an error. Has scored twice for the OC Riptide. Again, the Riptide are in 3rd place in the California Collegiate League South Division. Barons are in 5th. The first pitch fastball runs away from the lefty. 1-0 the count. Patrick watches this one catch the outer half. One ball, 1 strike. Runners on first and second here in the top of the 7th inning. Things are all tied up at 5 apiece still. Marcellus Henry delivers another fastball. It's fouled back out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Henry's 1 strike away from ending this inning, keeping things as they are. Here's the 1-2 from Henry, and he tried to get him to chase one outside the zone, but it missed a little too much. Runner on first is Matthew Flaherty. Matthew Thomas is the runner at second. Here's the 2-2, and Marcellus Henry gets the strikeout that he needed there as Hackworth goes down for out number 3. Chased a fastball up and out of the zone. Big out number 3 as we get ready for the 7th inning stretch. Again, thanks for tuning in to Academy of Barons Baseball here on the MLB Academy Barons YouTube channel. Another home game this week on Saturday for you guys to come out to the ballpark to. And if you can't come out to the ballpark, well then come listen to the live stream here on the YouTube channel. Looks like we will get a new pitcher wearing number 13 for the Orange County Riptide. Not on that roster, but he is on this roster. Riley Kelly is the new man on the mound as he will face the 4, 5, 6 hitters here. We'll tell you a little bit more about Riley Kelly after the 7th inning stretch. Bottom of the 7th when we come back in just a moment. Back here for the bottom of the 7th inning. Yeah, thanks for tuning in to Academy Barons Baseball, wherever you may be tuning in from. I'm Noah Alvarez. 4, 5, 6 due up here in this half of the inning. So it'll be Maximus Berber, Andrew Kirchner, and Dylan Lena.
Bottom of the seventh inning, number 15.
Again, the new man on the mound is Riley Kelly. He's a righty from UC Irvine, the same school where the starter for the Barons, Dante Zamudio, attended last spring. So both Kelly and Zamudio teammates for the Anteaters this past school year. Maximus Berber. So looking for his first hit of the evening. Looks like a ball went out into the field of play from the bullpen over there on the third base side. So home plate umpire waits for it to clear. Now we get the green light for the first pitch. And it's in there. Fastball at 93. Off the arm of Riley Kelly. Again, he's the new man on the mound. Maximus Berber doing the DH duties today. Also a pitcher on the roster for the Academy Barons. From Whittier College, quickly down 0-2. Kelly does another fastball there on the inner half, and Maximus Berber goes down on 3 straight fastballs. Didn't look like he wanted any part of Kelly's fastballs there. All 3 at 93 miles per hour.
Now batting number 9, Andrew Kirchner.
So now we'll bring up Andrew Kirchner with 1 out. I think still tied up at 5 apiece. Someone's going to have to break through the tie eventually. Barons did play an extra inning game yesterday. Kirchner swings at the first one and fouls this off to the left side. Kirchner had an RBI double in his last AB back in the 5th inning. 1 for 3. That slider misses upstairs. A bit outside too. 1-1 the count. Riley Kelly from the windup delivers this sharp fastball on the outer half. One ball, 2 strikes to the first baseman, Kirchner. Here's the 1-2 from Kelly. Hit right to the third baseman, Gump. Looked like it was going to come harder off the bat, but only 77 miles per hour exit velocity. A liner, a soft liner at that, to the third baseman. There's now 2 quick outs in the inning. So that'll bring up the second baseman, Dylan Lena. And Lena's been relatively quiet today. He played hero yesterday, coming up with that double back in the 10th inning that scored Andy Cisneros. Oh, Lena checked his swing, and they're going to say that was on the inner half. Tough strike call there. We didn't see the likes of Joel Tornero or Adrian Blanchett get those calls back in the 6th inning. Here's the 0-1 count. And this is a slider that misses in the dirt. 1-1 the count to Dylan Lena. Kelly working with 2 outs, and it's a 1-1 slider on the front door for strike number 2. Kelly shakes off a few pitches. Now gets the sign from Wilkinson. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Lena. Just missing upstairs. Good take there by the second baseman from Golden West College. Two balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 is smacked into left field. And the left fielder, Ace Reese, is going to be able to cut it off before it gets to the wall and hold Dylan Lena at second. So it's a 2-out single. He does get that hit. Has hit safely in back-to-back games now. So Lena's aboard with 2 outs in the inning, and that'll bring up the catcher, Efren Ortega.
Now batting number 16,
And Ortega just graduated high school. I'm not sure how many pitchers he's faced that have thrown in the low 90s. As he's way behind on that fastball there, and at 91. Two outs in the inning. Lena at first. Things are all tied up at 5 apiece here in the bottom of the 7th. Lena has to scurry back over to first after a move there by Riley Kelly. Lena's not a big threat at all to run. Has a small lead over there. The 0-1 from Kelly does catch the inner half as Efren Ortega was crowding the plate. Scooted out of the way, but it's a strike nonetheless. He's down an 0-2 hole. Sounds like the home plate umpire just gave a warning to the third base dugout. And so now Kenny Landreau is going to talk with the home plate umpire. We heard some chirping earlier in the game from the OC Riptide dugout over on the first base side. He didn't give a warning, but he did chirp back at them and said that's enough. Didn't hear what was said or anything really from the third base dugout there, but the home plate umpire must have heard something he didn't like. Wrote down something on his notepad. Kenny Landreau now back to the dugout. 0-2 count to Efren Ortega, and Ortega can't handle the heat. He goes down via the strikeout. There's 3 outs in the inning. On to the top of the 8th. Things are still tied at 5 apiece. We'll see who comes back onto the mound for the Academy Barons here in the top of the 8th. Again, thanks for tuning in to Academy Barons Baseball here on the Academy Barons YouTube channel. So it's the new man on the mound for the Academy Barons here in the top of the 8th. Trying to keep the score as is. It's Jonathan Largaspada, the big righty from Long Beach State. Played for the Dirtbags this past spring. Again, wears number 43.
Warming up, top of the 8th inning. Number 1, Ace Reese.
Due up in this half of the inning is the heart of the lineup for the Riptide. 3-4-5. Largaspada stands at 6'5", weighs 210 pounds. Again, from Long Beach State. Colin Taylor creeping up towards the edge of the grass as Reese swings over that fastball. 0-1 the count. This is the 5th pitcher we're seeing on the evening for the Academy Barons. Dante Zamudio started it, then it was Joel Tornero. Adrian Blanchett followed, as this one does find the outer half. After Adrian Blanchett, it was Marcellus Henry, and now we're seeing Jonathan Largaspada. Very effective righty out of the bullpen for head coach Kenny Landro. Kicks, deals, and misses this fastball just outside. 1-2. Ace Reese followed by Rocco Gump and then Camden Bates. Those are the 3 due up here in this half of the inning. Things are all tied up at 5 apiece here in the top of the 8th. Try to get him with the slider, but it misses. Largaspada comes set. Kicks, delivers a 2-2. Missing the zone there. Close miss on the fastball. Just a bit downstairs. And here's the full count pitch. It's a high chopper over to Lena at second. He has to wait it. Jumps up. Oh, and fumbled it momentarily. That allows Ace Reese to reach safely. So a tough one there as he let it hop one more time, and that hop didn't get quite over his head, but it made it more challenging as he had to reach up and grab it and wasn't able to successfully transfer it to his hand. Error on the second baseman, the 3rd error on the evening. Largaspada is going to have to work to keep that guy put at first base. We'll see 2 pitches from Largaspada, a fastball 84% of the time, and also a slider. Pitch misses. Fastball inside, down and in. Want to know the count. Runner on first is Ace Reese. Good speed over there by the outfielder. Rocco Gump also has good speed. Might be tough to turn too. Misses down and away. It's now a 2-0 count to the cleanup hitter. Gump was hit by a pitch in his last AB. 0 for 3 on the evening. Does have an RBI ground out though. Fastball does catch the outer half. It's a strike. 2-1 the count. Here's the 2-1 from Largaspada. This one gets all the way past Efren Ortega as going to second now is Ace Reese. Just a fastball that was well wide of the target. Tough there as we've seen the bullpen unable to hit their spots here in this game against the Orange County Riptide. There's a runner in scoring position now. Largaspada has been very effective this season for the Barons. Has yet to give up an earned run. Fakes a move over to second, but delivers home, and it's a ball 4. So now there's runners on first and second. Still nobody out here in the top of the 8th, and that'll bring up what looks like to be Camden Bates, the second baseman. Kirshner's going to play at the edge of the grass, as is Colin Taylor. They're going to crash on the bunt. This one skips past Efren Ortega, and another, I think that's going to be a passed ball because it looked like a very catchable ball there for the catcher. Nonetheless, both runners move 90 feet. Things are still tied up at 5 apiece. Now the infield's going to be forced to play in at the edge of the grass. On a hard hit grounder, they'll try and look that runner back over to third base. The runner at third is Ace Reese. The runner at second is Rocco Gump. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Skips away from Efren Ortega and gets all the way towards the first base dugout. But luckily for the Barons, Reese retreats back to third. Again, Barons shooting themselves in the foot. Camden Bates has drawn 2 walks, does have a single, 1 for 2 on the evening. Two-0 pitch from Largaspada is a fastball on the outer half. This fastball misses inside. Three balls, 1 strike. Runners on second and third. Nobody out. Fastball does catch the outer half, and Largaspada is going to need a big either strikeout or a pop-up, maybe a shallow fly ball. Something to keep those runners put at second and third and avoiding keeping them from scoring. And he does get the strikeout that he needs there as Camden Bates goes down swinging. Couldn't catch up to the fastball on the inner half, had that tail on it, and the righty couldn't catch up.
Now batting number 38, Jack.
So big strikeout there, 1 out in the inning. That'll bring up the first baseman, Jack Hammond, who's 0 for 4 on the evening. Largaspada kicks, delivers a fastball on the outer half. 0-1 the count. Gets ahead of the hitter here. Jack Hammond in the batter's box. On deck is the catcher, Brendan Wilkinson. 1 out in the inning. There's another fastball on the outer half. Once again, it's an 0-2 count. Here's the 0-2 from Largaspada, and this one swung on and foul tipped. Looked like that might have hit or was about to hit Hammond, but he swung at it and just foul tipped it off the home plate. So we'll do it again, 0-2. 1 out in the inning. Largaspada kicks, deals. This one a topper over to the shortstop. Cornwell is going to deliver home. Here's the throw, and it pulls Ortega to the first base side, so no play for the tag there. A bang-bang play. Cornwell had the right idea, but just a little bit up the first base line. Ortega wasn't going to be able to get the tag down, so a fielder's choice. A run does score.
Now batting number 11, Brendan Wilkinson.
Six to 5 is the score for the Riptide. Now Efren Ortega is going to give the signs to his infield. Middle infield is going to go back to regular double play depth. as it's the catcher, Brendan Wilkinson, who does have good speed for a catcher. Over at first, it's Jack Hammond. At third, Rocco Gump. Fastball does find the outer half. It's an unearned run given up by Jonathan Largaspada, as it was an error committed by Dylan Lena that started the inning that allowed Ace Reese to reach safely. Oh, this one missed everything there, and it bounces off the pole towards the first base dugout. So a run scores on the wild pitch there. Moving up to second is Jack Hammond. Now a 2-run lead for the Orange County Riptide as they put up 2 runs here in the top of the 8th. One ball, one strike, one out, and a runner on base over at second. 2 runs have come across here, that second one being an earned run. This one driven into center, shallow enough for Deuce Robinson to come in, charge it, and make the catch on a line. It's right in the right spot for the center fielder. A big second out, and that'll bring up the number 8 hitter, Matthew Thomas. Matthew Thomas offers at the first pitch. Tailed outside of the zone. 0-1 count. Thomas had a walk in his last AB and then stole a base. 0-1 does catch the outer half, says the home plate umpire. Favorable call for the Barons. It's now an 0-2 count. Thomas in an 0-2 hole with the runner on second. Largaspada just misses outside. Two runs already home here in the top of the 8th. 1-2, the slider misses down and in. Again, Largaspada 1 strike away from ending this inning. Came into the game here in the top of the 8th. Barons now trailing 7-5. And he does get the strikeout there as he gets Matthew Thomas to swing over the slider. So 2 more runs come across for the Riptide. They now lead 7-5, and the Barons are going to have to get at least 1 run here to avoid having to get all of it back in the bottom of the 9th. Again, it was a game pitched very well in the beginning by Dante Zamudio and Luis Becerra. Low-scoring game, but the floodgates opened up in the 5th as the Riptide scored 2 in the top of the 5th, while the Barons scored 5 in the bottom of the 5th. However, the Barons have been held scoreless since, and the Riptide added 3 in the 6th, 2 in the 8th. The bullpen hasn't been able to hang on to the lead for Dante Zamudio. He'll not factor into the decision tonight. As it stands now, Jonathan Largaspada will be in charge of the loss if the score stands as is. Still plenty of time, though. 6 more outs, 6 more opportunities at least for the Barons to put up 2 or more runs to either retake the lead or tie things back up. They'll have a very, what's the word? Not dominant, but an imposing presence on the mound in Riley Kelly, who was hitting the low 90s with consistency and just powered through the likes of both Maximus Berber and Efren Ortega. Due up in this half of the inning in the bottom of the 8th here, it'll be Colin Taylor, Raymond Jenkins, and Evan Cornwell. We'll see if 8-9-1 can do anything here against Riley Kelly, as you see the final throwdown for Brendan Wilkinson. We'll reset the defense for you as well. Over at first, Jack Hammond. Camden Bates is at second. Patrick Hackworth at short. And over at third, Rocco Gump. Over at left field, it's Ace Reese. In center, Michael Diaz.
Number 14.
And Matthew Thomas is the man in right field. It's the defense for your Orange County Riptide. Visiting team today, currently up 7-5 over the Academy Barons. Colin Taylor awaits the first pitch from Riley Kelly. And this one skips off the glove upstairs. 1-0 the count. Again, Kelly from the University of California, Irvine, UC Irvine. Two-0 now the count. No one warming up in the bullpen for the Orange County Riptide. This one does catch the inner half at 92. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This one misses upstairs. A 3-1 count to the third baseman. And on deck is Raymond Jenkins. Kelly's making his 5th appearance on the season. In 3 innings, he's given up 7 runs, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. This one does catch the inner half, the fastball, and at 92. Taylor will now have to battle with the full count. This one misses downstairs. So nice job there by Colin Taylor to work the count full and then work a walk. Riley Kelly currently at 20 pitches now. So we'll see how long he can go into the outing. There is some guys getting loose out there in the bullpen for the Orange County Riptide, and Connor Spencer, the head coach. Raymond Jenkins did attempt a sacrifice bunt earlier in the game. We'll see if they have that sign on. Does look like the pitching coach now going to stroll out to the mound after the leadoff walk. Again, thanks for tuning in to Academy Barons Baseball. Let's go ahead and look ahead at the schedule for the Academy Barons, as they do have tomorrow off. But then we'll hit the road on Friday, as they'll travel to Irvine once again to take on the Riptide. So back-to-back games between the Riptide and the Barons, a home and home, or home and away, I suppose. That game will start at 7 o'clock, not too far if you're in the Southern California area. Then on Saturday, they'll host the San Diego Sunrays before traveling to Pasadena once again to take on the Saints on Sunday. Then next week, they'll have the first 4 days or 3 days of the week off due to the California Collegiate League Showcase. But on Thursday, they're back in action to take on the Saints on July 18th. Their only home game next week will be against the Riptide once again at 6:05, Friday, July 19th, before they go on the road to take on the Blues and the Foresters. The first pitch to Raymond Jenkins is inside. He has to skate out of the way. Jenkins can't catch up to the fastball at 91 as it's blown right past him. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jenkins starting in left field today, getting his 12th start on the season. This one skips in the dirt. Colin Taylor's over at first. It's a 2-1 count. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. Barons trail 7-5, so they're chasing 2. Hoping to at least chip away at this lead. This one swung on and missed. Jenkins comes up empty on another fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Move over to first. Colin Taylor slides back, but no tag is applied by Hammond. Small lead over there. On deck is the shortstop, Evan Cornwell, so it's the top of the order. And Jenkins watches this one miss the zone. Good take there. Jenkins from Long Beach Poly High School before playing community college baseball. And he comes up empty on the swing there. Strikeout for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 8th. Barons are down to their final 5 outs. Evan Cornwell will now step into the box.
Number 5, Evan Cornwell.
Cornwell's done a nice job of making contact. He has 2 singles on the day. Came around to score in the 5th, 2 for 4. Missing down and away with the first pitch to Cornwell. It's a 1-0 count. Riley Kelly. Next pitch will be number 28 for him. There is a righty warming up in the bullpen for the Riptide. And Cornwell fouls this one off. Out of play over the netting. Hit foul to the left side, another fastball that Cornwell's battling, but now down in a 1-2 hole. One-two pitch from Kelly. Cornwell checks his swing. Now Colin Taylor's trying to go for his second throw. Is going to go to the shortstop side. And so no tag there by Hackworth on the wild pitch. Taylor does advance into scoring position. Because first base was occupied, Cornwell couldn't take off for first. But there's 2 outs on the strikeout now.
Number 44, Duke Robinson.
Aggressive move there by the third baseman, Taylor. Ball into the outfield could potentially score a run for the Barons here, especially with 2 outs in the inning. Better to get 1 than none here in the bottom of the 8th. Down to their final 4 outs. It's a first pitch strike to Deuce Robinson. Fastball in the inner half. Kelly checks on the runner at second. This one smacked into left field. Now Colin Taylor's going to round third. Here's the throw from Ace Reese. Not going to be in time. Gum cuts it off and is not going to be able to make a throw over to second as Deuce Robinson is able to get in there with a RBI double. 91 miles per hour on the inner half, and Robinson was able to shoot it over to left field. So now it's a 7-6 game here in the bottom of the 8th. Again, Barons still have 4 more outs to work with. Looks like that's going to be the end of the day for Riley Kelly. An effective outing nonetheless, was able to get 5 outs for the Orange County Riptide. Came into the game in the bottom of the 7th, and now new arm on the on the mound from the bullpen. One wearing number 36 looks like it's wearing number 36, it's Tommy McGuire. So Tommy McGuire is the new arm on the mound. He's a righty from Cypress College. Teammates with Jack Burke and couple other guys who have made their way through Cypress College.
Now pitching for the Riptide, number 36.
So Tommy McGuire now into the game, trying to get that final out here in the 8th, and maybe all 3 outs in the bottom of the 9th. We'll see how long the Riptide decide to keep him in for. Connor Spencer, again, the head coach, made the change. It was Matt Smith, the pitching coach, who walked out to the mound. First batter he'll face is the number 3 hitter, Jacob Klanowski. Again, we'll tell you a little bit more about McGuire as well as the final line for Riley Kelly in just a moment after this commercial break. So back here at the Academy, ready for action. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Barons trail 7-6 now is the score. The number 3 hitter and right fielder Jacob Klanowski will now step out of the batter's box as Tommy McGuire steps off. He's the new man on the mound. And the catcher, Brendan Wilkinson. Maybe to talk things over, get things squared away on the signs. Again, the new pitcher in the game is Tommy McGuire from Cypress College, standing at 6'5", went to Villa Park High School, my alma mater. Graduated in 2023. Played this past spring for the Cypress Chargers over in the Orange Empire Conference. Recorded 2 saves in 38 innings of work. Made 19 appearances. Finished with a record of 5-2 and an ERA of 3.99 as the first pitch fastball at 89 misses. 1-0 the count. Two outs. The 1-0 pitch misses down and in. It's now a 2-0 count to Klanowski. Klanowski had a big 2 RBI double back in the 5th inning, hoping to trade places with Deuce Robinson again. McGuire's making his 8th appearance on the season. He's pitched 15 innings, giving up 6 hits, 4 runs as Klanowski calls time at home plate. McGuire's given up 6 hits, 4 runs, 8 walks in those 15 innings, and has 18 strikeouts. McGuire pitching from the first base side of the rubber. This one sounded like a broken bat off Klanowski's bat and into the shallow left center. Patrick Hackworth goes back and records it for out number 3. So a big out there recorded by Tommy McGuire. And the Riptide still hang on to that 7-6 lead, but 1 run does come across, so the Barons do chip away and are now trailing by 1 as a piece of the bat in front of home plate, as one of the bench players for the Barons goes and picks it up. So Jacob Klanowski will need a new bat after he plays defense in right field for the Barons. 3 more outs to work with for the Barons as we head over to the top of the 9th. In the bottom of the 9th, we'll see 4, 5, 6. Maximus Berber, Adrian Kirchner, and Dylan Lena, barring any substitutions. But before we get to the bottom of the ninth, things will have to stay as is. A new pitcher on the mound for the Academy Barons. Looks like it's the hard-throwing right-hander, Robbie Knowles. Wearing number 45. He'll be the sixth pitcher to come to the mound for the Academy Barons. Again, Robbie Knowles is the new pitcher to tell you about. We'll tell you a little bit more about him as well. Get the line for all the other pitchers who were used today by the Academy Barons. Again, led by head coach Kenny Landreau, looking for win number 10 on the season. Currently 9-14. Only 4 more home games remain here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy. One on Saturday and then one next Friday. Highly recommend you guys come check out your Academy Barons here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy. A lovely night in the city of Compton for baseball. Just past 9 o'clock. So Robbie Knowles hasn't pitched the past couple seasons due to recovering Tommy John injury.
Now pitching for the Tide.
But he is a big hard-throwing righty. Last played for Liberty University.
Now pitching for
Where's number 45?
number 45, Robbie
Stands at 6'1". Played at El Camino College back in 2022. And again, 2023 played or was a member of the Liberty roster but did not play. Went to Miracosta High School, also played water polo and was the MVP of his water polo team while at Miracosta. His brother Dylan Knowles is playing baseball at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Cal Poly Slow. See the final throwdown from Efren Ortega. 9-1-2 due up here in the top of the ninth. Riptide leading 7-6. Robbie Knowles hoping to keep the score as is. And he's a new pitcher on the mound. The sixth of the evening. Dante Zamudio was the first one. Went 5 innings, gave up 2 runs, one of which was earned off 5 hits and 5 strikeouts. Joel Ternero was only able to get 2 outs after giving up 3 runs. He walked the bases loaded, and all 3 runs came across to score. Adrian Blanchard was the next pitcher who used 16 pitches but couldn't record an out. Walked 2 batters and hit another. First pitch from Robbie Knowles, hit into the air, into left field. Raymond Jenkins now going back a couple steps. Oh, and that one squirts out the glove. An error on the left fielder, Raymond Jenkins, and that's how the inning gets started. 4th error on the evening by the Academy Barons.
number 24, Michael Diaz.
Again, first pitch from Robbie Knowles was at 94, but no problem there for Matthew Flaherty to send it into left field. Should have been out number 1, but Robbie Knowles now going to have to get that figurative 4th out. Runner on first, Knowles. We'll now have to keep an eye on that runner at first. First pitch to Michael Diaz, misses up and away. After Adrian Blanchard, it was Marcellus Henry who went an inning and a third. Didn't allow a run to come across. Hit into the air in foul territory, potentially in play for Colin Taylor. Colin Taylor gave it a look, but it's going to miss or out of play. After Marcellus Henry, it was Jonathan Largaspada who came into the game back in the top of the 8th. But in that inning, he gave up 2 runs, one of which was earned. There was an error followed by a walk that allowed those first 2 runners to get on, and they came around to score, giving the Riptide a 7-5 lead. Runner takes off. This one's fouled off. Ooh. I think that hit. I thought that was fouled off the bat, but Efren Ortega just straight missed it. And it hit the padding of home plate umpire. So home plate umpire We'll see. Now he's going to talk with the other umpires as there was a bit of confusion. Diaz swung at that one. I think the home plate umpire is in too much pain. 93 on the radar gun. But on the stolen base attempt, Flaherty went for third. Umpires are talking it over now to the right of the mound, our left. So it's ruled just a strike, a swinging strike. No foul ball, so Matthew Flaherty has a stolen base and advanced to third on the wild pitch. Maybe it's a passed ball since the catcher Ortega should have had it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Oh, and this one gets past Ortega once again. Bounces in the dirt. And coming around to score on the wild pitch now is Matthew Flaherty. So when it rains, it pours. Barons had 47 errors on the season entering today's game, had 4 more tonight. The latest being the error by Raymond Jenkins, the left fielder, that allowed the runner to come across and score. An unearned run given up by Robbie Knowles is now a full count, 3-2. Eight to 6 now is the score. Riptide lead here in the top of the 9th. 3-2 pitch is fouled off to the right side. We'll do it again. Michael Diaz trying to battle. Here's the payoff pitch from Robbie Knowles. Slider got him there, and now Michael Diaz is set down via the strikeout for the 4th time this evening. So what should have been the second out now is the first out here in the top of the 9th. Again, in the bottom of the 9th inning, it'll be 4, 5, 6. Maximus Berber, Andrew Kirchner, and Dylan Lena chasing at least 2 runs now. Patrick Hackworth step into the batter's box. Waiting the first pitch from Robbie Knowles. Fires the first pitch fastball. That's fouled back into the netting. 0-1. So nobody on base, 1 out. Knowles kicks, delivers. The 0-1 misses outside. Fastball couldn't quite catch the outer half. Changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 8 to 6 is the score. Riptide lead. Hackworth awaits the 1-1. Oh, and the fastball up and in. Hackworth helping the pitcher out there. One, two. Robbie Knowles hoping for strikeout here. Fastball fouled back into the netting once again, so we'll do it again, 1-2. Here's the 1-2 from Robbie Knowles. The slider hit on the ground over to the shortstop Cornwell, who charges. Throws it over to Kirchner in time. So the shortstop grounds out to a shortstop. 6-3 for out number 2. Nice defensive play there made by Cornwell. Now to bring up the left fielder Ace Reese. 2 outs in the inning. Robbie Knowles hoping to keep the score as is. 8-6 now is the score. Riptide got 2 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th, 2 in the 8th, and 1 in the 9th. Barons got 5 in the 5th and 1 in the 8th. Robbie Knowles kicks and delivers the first pitch. It's a first pitch slider over for a strike to Ace Reese. This one hit into the right field air, but no problem for Klednowski as he makes the catch for out number 3. So now we're down to the final 3 outs. Final opportunity here for the Academy Barons as they trail now by 2 runs once again. 4, 5, 6 due up here in this half of the order. Maximus Berber will lead things off. Again, I'm Noah Alvarez. When we come back, the bottom of the 9th, let's see if the Barons have a little late inning magic here as they hope to come from behind and win this game against the Orange County Riptide. So it comes down to this, bottom of the 9th, Barons trail by 2. See if they have a little late inning magic for you here on the Academy Barons YouTube channel. And my name is Noah Alvarez. Tommy McGuire is on the mound for the Orange County Riptide. First pitch to Maximus Berber. Couldn't quite break over the zone. The breaking ball misses for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Again, 4, 5, 6 due up here. As the catcher, Brendan Wilkerson, talks to Tommy McGuire. Maybe they got crossed up over there on that first pitch. 1-0 the count to Maximus Berber. Rocco Gumps over at third. Patrick Hackworth at short. Camden Bates is at second, and Jack Hammond is over at first. The 1-0 pitch is a fastball, and Herb Berber maybe helps McGuire out there. Chasing a pitch inside. In right field, it's Matthew Thomas. Michael Diaz is in center. And in left is Ace Reese. The defense for the Riptide. Berber can't catch up to another fastball there. And at 90 miles per hour off the arm of Tommy McGuire. One ball, 2 strikes, nobody on base, and nobody out here in the bottom of the 9th. Barons down to their final 3 outs. And Berber goes down swinging for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 9th. That'll bring up the first baseman, Andrew Kirchner. And Kirchner does have familiarity against Tommy McGuire. Both are members of the Orange Empire Conference. Kirchner playing for Golden West. Tommy McGuire playing for Cypress College. First pitch fastball misses the outer half. Kirchner takes ball 1. Tommy McGuire comes set, the righty, delivers a fastball that's fouled off to the right side. One ball, one strike to Andrew Kirchner. McGuire kicks, delivers. This one, another fastball that Kirchner this time can't handle. It's a 1-2 count. On deck is Dylan Lena, and I'm sure he'd much rather bat with a runner on base than versus the base is empty. Remember to stay on the stream for the conclusion of this game. We'll have a player of the game for you, regardless of the Barons win or lose. And Kirchner goes down on a flail there. A little bit of a half-hearted swing as he goes down out for out number 2.
Now batting number 15, Dylan Lena.
So now the Barons are down to their final out. It'll be up to Dylan Lena to try and to try and keep this game alive. Tommy McGuire still on the mound. Swings at the first pitch and comes up empty on the fastball. It's a 0-1 count. Oh, 1 count to Dylan Lena, the second baseman. This one hit into left field, but going to be right to Ace Reese. He camps under it, and that's out number 3. So the Barons fall to the Riptide for the 3rd time this season by a score of 8-6. Barons drop to 9-15 on the season, while the Riptide advance to 14-8. Okay, thanks for tuning in to another edition of Academy Barons Baseball here on the Academy Barons YouTube channel. Getting the loss today for the Barons is Jonathan Largaspada. He came in to the game in the 8th inning. Things were tied up at 5 apiece, but he allowed 2 runs to come across, only one of which was earned. But he gets charged with the loss. And getting the win for the Orange County Riptide is Riley Kelly. Riley Kelly pitched 1 2/3 of an inning, struck out 4 batters, did give up 1 run in the 8th, but the Riptide were able to get another insurance run back in the top of the 9th. That really gave some cushion, a 2-run lead. 8-6 is the final score once again, and we'll have a player of the game for you as we get this graphic uploaded. And thanks for tuning in to another edition. Another game this week here at the Academy. It's this Saturday against the San Diego Sunrays. Again, if you can't make it out to the ballpark, which I highly recommend you do, you can tune into the live stream here on the MLB Academy Barons YouTube channel. And my name is Noah Alvarez, and we have the graphic for you. Player of the game today will be Dante Zamudio. Dante Zamudio started the game and pitched a gem for the Barons once again. He's been very consistent. Went 5 innings, gave up 5 hits, 1 earned run, 2 runs, one of which was unearned, right? And struck out 5 batters. Not his best start of the day. Not the best start of the season. However, was effective in keeping runners off the base paths. Also stranded a few runners early on in the game, both in the 3rd and 4th inning when it looked like he was going to be in some trouble. However, the bullpen wasn't able to hang on to the lead. Nonetheless, in the loss, we're going to give Dante Zamudio the player of the game. He's the player of the game today for your Academy Barons. Again, next game you can tune in to the live stream or come here to the ballpark It's this Saturday against the San Diego